The following podcast is scheduled for one fall. From the heart of Broadway in historic downtown Cape Girardeau, this is Pro Wrestling Unscripted.
It really has been a week. Welcome to Pro Wrestling Unscripted here on the Podzilla 1985 Network. Back after a week off, and legitimately 2 shows in a row now. I didn't know what to say at the very beginning. They say it's like a bike, and you can ride it, but once you ride it, you can't put it in the garage anymore. So that's where we are right now, and that's just who I am right now, and you're going to have to accept that. Shannon Young here with you, Mr. 100, hosting tonight, along with the classic crew of Asa Gray, the 5-star man.
Yes.
Allie, not actually here.
Hi.
And the Big D, Dalton Anthony.
Yo. Also, Austin Lane on that panel show is taking my stuff.
What'd he take?
The
big, yeah.
Yeah, because I just hear best of best Austin Lane. Yo. No, Austin. That's mine.
Get your own thing. You're a 20-year vet.
Yeah.
You're the best of the best.
Why you have to steal some green kid stuff?
You should take that now. Like, have yourself announced as the best of the best.
You're just gonna trade. It's yo for
best of the
best.
Have Bobby Clubs introduce you as the new best of the best. We took a week off, but did we really? Because if you hadn't listened, go back to Saturday. Friday. We did an interview with none other than WWE legend Animal from the Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom, whatever you prefer.
I was legitimately salty about that because I had to set up the ring that night.
I wanted you there so badly.
Until Saturday, and then I realized, you know what? Don't be angry about things.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
obviously.
like, I got a way better trade-off for that.
But it was very, very cool. We did the interview with Animal at the panel. Myself, Asa, Allie, and we had 2 special guest hosts, Austin Lane, the best of the best, which I was very excited about. And one that actually surprised even me.
That was
Double H, Hunter Hendricks came back and did it with us. Like, that was really cool.
I saw that post, and it was literally like an hour and a half after you're like, man, there's too many people on these shows. I don't know what to do. We added too many people. And then, like, literally an hour and a half later, like, so Hunter Hendricks is on. Like, wait, what?
You don't say no to Double H whenever he requests it.
Riding our coattails.
So
how the turntables have turned.
How that legitimately happened was he said he was going to be at Comic-Con, and I said, okay, are you going to come in and listen to the panel? He's like, I really want to. I hope I can. And I said, well, would you want to be on it? Because I think that'd be really cool because you haven't been on in, 2 years at that point?
Ever since we changed our order.
And he said he declined. He said, no, that's your thing. I don't want to take you guys' thunder. Like, that is all on you guys. And then 30 minutes later, it was like, actually.
Turns out we're actually going to, because I told him, because in the group chat, he was like, yeah, we don't even know if we're going to go this year. And it's like, oh, you should come and sit in our room because
we need people.
I'm fully expecting, like, no one to come.
How many people were there?
We probably had a room of like 20, 25 people.
That's really good.
And we only knew like 5 of them.
That's good.
It was like we had
one table.
We had like the one table
and
of
Kevin.
like and Kevin
Huntsberger.
And like,
he was there.
but Kevin's not. I wouldn't necessarily say is like someone who
he wasn't required to be there.
Yeah, we didn't like. We expected like Jesse and Lindsay and all them like they had
were
to be
required
there.
to be there.
And like Sarah was there with Hunter and Audra was there, but like. Kevin very easily could have just been prepping for his own panel and being at his own table, but like he came and supported us, which meant the world to us.
Yes,
just in case, shout out to Kevin. Also, shout out to Chad Smart. He flew in from Hollywood.
He did.
Yeah,
Chad,
which was really cool.
We did. Not only did we do the PW panel, but we did a podcasting panel Saturday morning with myself, Jesse Kimball, and Kevin Huntsberger. And Chad was there in the audience. And it's the first time I ever got to meet him in person, and he was incredibly nice. There was another gentleman from Jittery Monkey that was there, and Greg. I always wanted to call him Macchio or something.
And Kevin, I said his name wrong, and the only reason I get Huntsberger right is because I see it every other week.
I met Chad on Sunday, but it was after we did the panel, and I got those pictures.
Yeah.
So I was legitimately shook. So I didn't realize that was
him.
Chad. Like, I said hi
from Cynical
Positive
Cynical.
Really good podcast.
Yes,
go check out. We don't plug them enough, and which is a shame because Kevin always makes it a point to mention us.
Well, the whole Jittery Monkey podcast.
Yeah, go
check them out.
Yeah, go check that network out. They're all really cool dudes. We
got to work with them over the weekend quite a bit.
Chad sent me an action figure once.
He's such a cool guy.
Yeah,
he's such a cool guy.
Heath Slater. I was really happy to have that.
Heath Slater is a cool guy. You met him. Oh, no?
I was
it
gonna
was a toy.
Is he part of Jittery Monkey?
No. Chad sent me
I haven't seen.
Give him time. Allie, what'd you think about the... so the best part about the panel with Animal, of course, was we got Allie to do give him a what a rush.
I was actually legitimately kind of frustrated with that, Allie, because I could tell that you were not a fan.
I tried.
He tried to stop me.
In defense, I tried because he's like, because Shannon does the big plug of, in a very special treat, and I was like, okay, what do you got? Because you had done something earlier in the show that I was like, I want to see where this is, what's going to actually happen. He's like, I want to do the impersonation, like Allie does great impressions, and I was like, okay, that's hilarious, but is he going to? We have to remember. It's not. This isn't just us on the show anymore.
This is Animal.
I didn't care about what Animal thought. I felt bad for her.
A bit that he doesn't listen to the show. He's a big '80s wrestler fan. He's gonna think I'm an idiot.
Now here's the thing.
But he covered it so well. But like, and he played a lot. Like
he laughed. He enjoyed it.
All in all, it went great. Like that was. I think that was it went as well as it could have.
Now that being said,
I tried.
That being said, listening to it, because I had to listen to it, I wasn't there. Listening to it, I was mortified for you. I know damn good and well if I had been at the table and you would have said, do your impersonation, what a rush, I would have been losing my mind laughing. So, like, at the same time, I know I'm kind of garbage, but I felt for you in that moment.
So, in that moment, as soon as I said it, I did not expect the crowd to get behind it so much because the crowd's egging around like, yeah, come on, people are applauding. And Animals applauding. Yes. And Allie, I could see her face turn beet red. And I'm like, oh, Allie, you got to do it at this point. If you back out of this, your career is over.
Well, and
you'll never work in this town again.
It was also one of those things where it's like, does she know the catchphrase? Which is where
she did, because and I thought about that too. That's why I went, all right, Allie, got to do the what a rush. Because I thought, oh shit, I put her on the spot. She doesn't know it. Animal's going to be so insulted.
Right.
Say the line, Bart.
Say the line, Bart. Also, I want to mention, if you've never heard it live, to have Animal right next to you go, and do the whole thing.
And that,
I got chills.
And that it actually sounds exactly like it sounds on the recording. Like,
because I always thought it was Hawk.
Oh, really?
I always thought it was Hawk that did it. Yeah, I did not realize it was Animal.
We are going to go over like our experience at Super Show, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Then I'll go like because then what I was going to follow up with, we can cover it.
Yeah, we are going to talk about the Super Show 3 at the end of the show. It was an incredible event, and we can't wait to talk about it. So let's get through the news first.
This is going to be a long show, team.
Oh God, no, because I'm hungry. Also, Allie definitely the MVP of that panel because she did it. She did the line. Mm-hmm. Everyone laughed. And she's a good sport.
It was also a very PZ85 moment where we have WWE Hall of Famer Animal, followed by Ash Ketchum.
That's what that's what I was saying earlier. Is it's like it's a very good snapshot of what we are, especially like so we have on the same show we have him doing What a Rush with the growl and everything, and thanks Podzilla in Ash Ketchum's voice by Ash Ketchum,
Veronica Taylor.
Yeah, like
who is
is life
personal friend at this point to the show.
She went
maybe Animal too because he nudged me.
She went to Villainous Grounds.
Yeah, she did.
I was so happy.
Can you please isolate that audio of her saying thanks Podzilla and send it to all of us so we can make that our text tone?
Well, I wanted to do like one of those boards where you can hit a button and do an audio sample, and just every time one of us do a dumb joke or something, just thanks Podzilla, just over and over again. Let's get to the news real quick because we do have a lot to talk about, and we do want to get through the show because we need to get some Taco Bell. She's tired, and she wants to go home and go sleep. Is that right? She's nodding. Holy shit! I've never seen her this out of it.
I like sleep.
So, first off, you probably saw the video this morning. If you didn't go watch it, it was very, very cool. John Moxley did a video for the former Dean Ambrose. He's still under WWE contract, right?
He posted that video literally 5 minutes after his contract expired.
Wow.
12:05 May 1st.
That mofo had that ready.
He wasted no time.
Used Twitter to start that Mick Foley feud that eventually got scrapped. Didn't touch it again. His bio was literally, they make me have this. And then follows no one. Has like 600-something thousand followers, probably more at this point.
With no effort.
No effort. Other than this video, which was... This isn't some fan cam, like handheld. No. This was production.
This was produced.
This had multiple shots. It had sets.
I do absolutely love that it just says professional.wrestler.
Yep. The thing that I think is most interesting from it is because you can pick apart all of it, like, oh, he's breaking out of a prison or an asylum, like now that his contract's over. But I think that the most interesting thing is, to me at least, in one shot, and what could have very well been a throwaway shot, he runs past the graffiti of the dice, which looks awful similar to the Double or Nothing.
And then Cody retweeting it.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of people retweeted it.
Well, yeah, but it's one of those, like, with the way that Cody kind of does
Joey Janela, like, retweeted it.
Oh, yeah.
There was, so I'm not reading as much into that as much as that seemed like a very specific art choice
Yeah.
to go with. And someone even on Reddit pointed out that like the numbers on the dice corresponded with the date of the event, I think.
That's
Because it's May
intricate.
because it's May 25th, right? Is when
Is
Double
that
or Nothing is.
Dalton?
I couldn't tell you to be
Okay.
honest.
So it was like a 2. The dice were a 2 and a 5, which is it's for the 25th or something like that. Which I thought I was like, oh, sneaky little Double or Nothing reference in there maybe, and then someone's like, or it could be even more than that.
It is the 25th.
Okay, yeah.
Just looked it up too.
So it was super cool. It was crazy to see him ending it with the barbed wire around his knuckles,
With the blood,
like with the
yeah.
blood, just like, whoo, Moxley's back, and that is terrifying. Because here you have like a millionaire, you have to assume at this point, who's gonna be going town to town doing death matches at his leisure because that's just what he wants to do.
I saw 2 versions of this.
I love Dean Ambrose.
Who?
John Moxley. Sorry.
Moxley?
That's gonna get weird. That's gonna get weird to say now.
It's
And
gonna
now
be
Moxley.
going back to Moxley.
It's going to be the
Drew Carey? He's a WWE Hall of Famer.
Drew Galloway?
Yeah, Drew Galloway.
But instead of Drew McIntyre.
Wow, it took me
Yeah.
a second to remember that. I saw 2 versions of this. The first version I saw was just from the moment he was in the ring and he's got the barbed wire and he's like, moving around and practicing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was the full thing. And then I saw it later on the day with the whole prison escape.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense. I kind of like the one without the prison escape better just because it looks more like a fighter. Like, oh, this is a fighter who's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the prison definitely had a storyline. I mean, it kind of felt like a shot to WWE, but not really a shot.
I mean, he's free. That's
yeah,
what it
was
was.
literally just he was imprisoned where
But
he
you
didn't want to
can't.
be.
But you can't say like that. You can't really do one without the other of saying, "Oh, he's free," because then you are
saying
comparing
he was in
WWE
prison,
to
yeah.
a actual prison
Right, but it was
or
it was,
an asylum.
it was highly effective. I think it was a prison. Most asylums don't look like that. It was cool though. It was a cool
Maybe
video.
not now, but look at your ghost show. See how those were run.
I often. There's one called Scary Things.
Stop it. Haunted things
Haunted
and
Things.
scary woods.
Scary.
Jesus Christ.
Followed up at 9:30 by what was that noise?
So my quote,
Where will white people go now?
and then the answer, of course, was Denny's.
Oh, I do like Denny's. I miss Denny's kind of.
Not our Denny's.
Not our Denny's.
No, 'cause, I mean we got Huddle House. We still got
Superior.
Huddle House.
And IHOP, which is good.
Yeah, I'm talking strictly like overnight
Oh.
because I don't think IHOP.
Anyway.
It doesn't matter.
My question to you guys is: now that the video is out,
Mm-hmm.
is Dean Ambrose leaving WWE?
That was another thing that like Reddit was like, he's gonna be a world champion at Impact, and people are gonna be like, don't get ahead of yourself. This all might be a
This
work.
is a work.
He may not be as because I'll admit I was wrong. I kind of assumed he would just be done. Like there were reports of like, oh, he may not be, no, he's not done with wrestling. He's just done with WWE. I was like, I don't know.
just
He
be
kind
done.
of seems like a guy who might just,
Well, he's kind of got that Lesnar feel.
take some time and like,
Yeah.
and then like not done forever, but for the immediate future. So for him to immediately go into this video, like
5 minutes into his new life.
I was wrong about it. So
I mean, he's got the money. He's still healthy, relatively.
Mm-hmm.
He's got Renee Young. What do you need?
Makes him more healthy.
Why? Yeah, make some healthy babies. Why do you need to? That sounded creepy. Why do you need to wrap barbed wire around your fist to go fight in these death matches, John?
because that's what he wants to do.
Yep.
So good on you. It'll be interesting to see where he lands and what he does. Because
Everywhere. He's going to land everywhere. He will not sign with somebody.
unless he signs with AEW,
I mean,
and they
true.
like guarantee him
Just immediately.
yeah, and they guarantee him the words are
See-
hard. I give up.
Yeah, no, I guarantee
Totally
him,
derailed
like,
because I just thought of like, okay, so we couldn't get that John Moxley versus Chris Jericho, but like without the WWE filter. We can get John Moxley versus Christopher Daniels. We can get John Moxley versus like all of these people.
Can
You
we
could
get
even
John
do that at
Moxley
Joey
versus
Janela.
Brock
Like,
Lesnar?
probably not.
no.
Also, just a quick side note: Brock Lesnar did officially retire today from MMA.
Yesterday.
Hard
Was it
air,
yesterday?
hard air quotes because it's
he
like the
retired-
third time
yeah.
he's retired.
Same thing with McGregor.
Oh, can you do that?
Yeah.
Stupid question.
It's-
I know it's stupid, but like I know Terry Funk obviously retires every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But I thought in like legitimate sports, that sounded bad. In
No,
a
like-
mainstream sport like UFC,
Right.
if you retired, that was it. Like,
No.
are you not claused of
Michael
like,
Jordan.
Michael Jordan, Brett
Yeah,
Favre.
good
it's
point.
a
Good
very
point.
common thing.
Yeah, it's a very common negotiation tactic. There is a rumor that Dana White has lost interest.
You almost said Dana Carvey.
I
didn't you?
did. I almost did. There's the rumor that Dana White has lost interest and that's just not going to happen anymore. But you're pulling Brock Lesnar out of retirement. There's a hook.
Right. There's
so
your hook. Give
but
it
like,
a year.
That's why I didn't put. That's the only reason I didn't put it on there is because it's like hard air quotes until Dana White dumps that dump truck of money.
That's a solid reasoning. Someone that is gone, Goldust. is officially done with WWE. Dustin Runnels.
I
Rhodes.
need everybody to go watch the Double or Nothing videos.
Ooh.
Dustin had a really good one about Cody, and he was that's where you get the half of the red and black with half of just Dustin, and then the Cody Rhodes promo for from 3 days ago. Oh my God!
Well, yeah, this is the match we never got in WWE.
We got it once, but it wasn't good
Because it wasn't what it should have been. And,
Wasn't it Goldust versus Stardust?
Yeah,
and this is what I told Dalton of holy crap, so this is what's happening at Double or Nothing. That's awesome. But man, when they were on that hot streak and when they were really, really it felt like they could have built to something great, and then it just fell away for seemingly no reason. That was such a disappointment, and now there isn't really anything. There's no real big hook other than just the family history and stuff.
Yeah.
So this is an example of WWE squandered them, and that's affecting another promotion for me now.
Yeah.
So now I'm actually really excited to go back and watch these videos because it's if they can get me back in, I would love. This is a match I really, really wanted to see, and now if they can get me built that hype up again, I'm super on board.
Yeah, because Cody pretty much just does this line of he goes through I'm not here to kill Dustin Rhodes, I'm here to kill the Attitude Era. And he was my entire group of friends have been compared to these people from the late 90s and early 2000s who, they paved the way. And I'm going to use the line, they bleep it in the video. He's they may have paved the road, but they stuck the speed limit at 35 because they're terrified of any of us putting our fucking foot down. And then just calls Triple H a pissant bodybuilder.
I heard about that.
And there's an amazing pretty much just calls Dustin Rhodes Old Yeller, but in the sweetest way possible. But still but I'm gonna put him down. I'm not doing it justice. I did verbatim the Attitude Era line, but
you're not as good of a promo as Cody.
No.
What?
But go back.
Jerry's still out.
Go back and watch that video. Because it's my promo of the year. I don't think anything's gonna beat that for promo of the year for me.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. This is a very unpopular opinion, and say that Goldust, Dustin Rhodes, Dustin Runnels is gonna go down as one of the greatest performers ever.
I think he already
Whoa,
has.
hot take.
I know. Hear me out.
Slow down there.
Hear me out. Not only escaping the shadow of being Dusty Rhodes' son, which anyone that has a famous dad will tell you, having a famous dad is not a boon to your career. It's a detriment in a lot of ways because everyone will compare you. Everyone will expect you to be who your dad was. So, and Dustin ran into that a lot in WCW.
Because when he was the natural,
when he was the natural, they just wanted another Dusty Rhodes. He, as successful as he was in WCW and those other promotions, it wasn't until he went to WWE and found the Goldust character that he really bloomed as a unique talent.
It was one of those Dustin has always been an amazing talent, and he would if he would have done the natural his entire career, he would be a WWE Hall of Famer sometime. At some point in his life.
Better be as Goldust. He has to.
And that's what I was about to say. As Goldust, it is a guarantee.
Yeah.
Because he was a big fixture in WWE from 1996 to 97 all the way to 2019.
Yeah.
He was always there. He was always memorable. He the golden the last 3-4 years haven't been amazing to him, but
that wasn't his fault.
The Golden Truth was fun.
He gave he always gave 100% to everything.
Yeah, Stardust, Goldust. That was the build.
The
of
brotherhood.
It was insane. Everything he did, he should have had the IC belt in 2000. That was their biggest. They should have put the IC belt on him in 2013.
There was the most memorable moment for Goldust for me growing up was WrestleMania 12, which by the way was 1996, which was when you were born. And I say that not as an insult to you, but just to bring up the fact that Goldust has been doing this for that long and is better today than he was then, to show you how good this man is as a performer. But it was the terrible thing where he did the fake OJ chase with Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper strips him down to women's lingerie, and it was incredibly embarrassing. I remember thinking to myself, then and now, what a devotion you have to your craft and to the company you work for that you would go to such an extreme to entertain the fans. And it's memorable, but a lot of people thought that all this Goldust stuff, him kissing men, him dressing like this, all the weird shit that he did was going to hurt his career in the long term. It would ruin his legacy and his dad would be ashamed and all this. And it turns out he built his own legacy on it. And I mean, today we're talking about him like he's one of the greats because he is one of the greats. And I'm excited to see what he does against Cody Rhodes. Do you think he's going to do paint? I know that's a weird question.
Yeah, he's going to do the red and black.
Like Goldust style?
Yeah, it's half and half. Have you not seen it?
I have not seen it
All
yet.
right, I'm on it. Yeah, but
Yeah,
he's
he
going to do paint, but give me a second. I'll pull it up.
Because he's wrestling as Dustin. Like he's not wrestling as
He's not Dustin Rhodes or Dustin
and
Runnels.
he's not. It'll be Dustin Runnels, I think. Like, but he's not. What I meant is he's not wrestling.
No, it'll
as,
be Dustin Rhodes.
Dustin Rhodes. Okay.
Yeah.
Because but he's not going to do like a Goldust style character. He's not going to do
it's more of a throwback to kind of Goldust, half
an
of
homage
what he
to that
is,
character.
and
Yeah. But it's not going to be like he's not debuting a new character like a Seven or a Dark Reign or whatever. Like
Black Reign.
Black Reign. Sorry.
Make sure you get that character right.
He just blocked me on Twitter for saying it.
Damn it! That means he blocked me too.
But
Do you remember the Seven character? Have we ever told you about the Seven character, Allie?
No, I don't want to get blocked. Stop it.
Of the videos of Dustin, so he's just
he's basically wearing the Undertaker's robe
black.
and hat, but he's with like a Michael Myers style, just like plain face mask.
well, it's just paint though. It's not a mask.
Was it paint? I
It was
thought
just
it was a mask.
it was white face paint, and he would just stare into like this kid's room. It was really dream sequency like. He also had a horse that was with him. Super strange. His first appearance as Seven on WCW, he floats to the ring, gets in, immediately talks about look at the crap they put me in, takes it off, and says I'm not doing.
That's why
I
I thought
left
it was
WWE because of crap like this.
I thought that's why it was a mask because he took off the mask and then cut the promo.
Oh no,
It was full paint.
It was full
paint,
paint.
okay.
It was a really latexy looking paint.
Okay.
But yeah, Dustin has been saddled with some of the worst stuff in history, and he made it his own.
It's the old Cody Rhodes quote of I will turn chicken shit into chicken salad. But imagine if you gave what I could do if you gave me chicken salad.
Yeah.
That's the Dustin Rhodes thing too, of just like Goldust could have been a one-note stupid character that appears for 3 months and is never seen again, and instead he built a
Legacy.
a legacy on it.
I truly believe also that if he had, Dalton said that if he had never done Goldust, if he had just been the natural all his life, he'd be a potential Hall of Famer. I agree with that, but I think he needed Goldust. Like, I think he would have been just fine if he had just done the I'm the son of a plumber, but Goldust made him
I almost
unique.
don't agree with that. I think
Really?
he's talented enough to have made that work as well, but he would have never been able to shake the Dusty comparisons like he could being Goldust and doing something that drastically different.
No, that's what I mean. Like, he needed it.
Yeah.
He needed Goldust. Like, everyone
Which
kind of...
and again, he's a Hall of Fame. Like he is a first round Hall of Famer candidate as
No matter
Goldust.
what, yeah.
Short of Vince McMahon's pettiness over something.
Which again, like this shows the respect that and the goodwill that he has because he was announced for Double or Nothing before his release was official. Like so that tells you. Which apparently, like then there's the story of Vince didn't want to let him go, but Triple H convinced him to let him. But
a lot of stories out there.
yeah, there's a lot of
stories.
like that's one of the things that's just like, man, I don't know what to believe.
Well, I'll tell you what.
It's the reality era.
I don't know about this. You're going to have to tell me about this. Brian Cage injured.
Yeah, so Impact, which we're not going to get into Impact and NWA's event that happened at the Crockett Cup, just because we don't have time and there's so much
Cole
going on.
Cabana, new North American champion, though.
Cole Cabana, new North American champion. Nick Aldis is still the NWA champion. But Impact ran their event with Reality of Wrestling. I'm totally blanking. It's on the notes, I think, but it's Deep. It wasn't Deep Impact.
I
thought it was Deep Impact.
No, it was because we made fun of the name.
Yeah, so yeah, Deep Impact. So they ran that show this past weekend, and in the main event, Brian Cage wrestling against Johnny Impact wins the Impact Championship, the big title in the main event. Michael Elgin comes out and seems to be like next in line as a challenger, debuts on Impact, and like makes it clear he's immediately going for the belt. But there's a spot where they he gives him Impact gives Cage a C4 from the ramp onto the floor.
I saw that.
And as soon as he lands, he's immediately clutching his lower back, and you can tell that like he's off the rest of the match, and not in a way that he's just selling. Like he's clearly like even his finisher, when he goes to hit the Weapon X, he's kind of struggling to hold Johnny Impact up, and he's done that move to much bigger guys.
Yeah.
So you could tell that he was really, really hurting. So credit to him for finishing and continuing the match. But after the match ended, he was immediately apparently taken to the emergency room. And as far as I know, I haven't seen any other updates on him. So it's not. We don't know if he's if it's something super, super severe, or I'm gonna double check that though.
While you're doing that,
But someone on Twitter also was like, because his wife or fiance or whoever like tweeted out like, "Hey, we're in the emergency room. This is what's going on. We will keep everyone updated." And someone was like, "Can we get a source?" And she's like, "I am his fiance and mother of his shoot child. I am the source." Like, oh, I just
I
like
love the phrase "shoot child"
because that's what she said. Like
As
it
opposed
was
to his work children. Yeah.
His work children.
because it was
Different.
just like some fucking shitty fan being like, I don't know, is this a work?
This
It's
sounds like Meltzer.
no, this is his actual fiance who's not part of the show in any way. Like
Like if that happened to Roderick Strong, you'd be a little iffy.
right.
But it's just like that's
And like the picture of him in the actual ER, just like like this
Well,
isn't how
what they can do with CG now is incredible.
I'm gonna slap the hell out of you.
Impact Rebellion. It was Impact Rebellion was the name of the
okay.
show. I didn't think Deep Impact was until later.
That's just a bad movie. That's not terrible. It's got Tay Leone and Morgan Freeman.
Okay, so he did an interview with Busted Open Radio. Yeah, it doesn't look like I'm going to be out.
Oh, that's good.
So that's good. He thinks Cage is going to be fine, just has severe inflammation and a bone bruise. Holy shit.
Wow.
That's
scary sounding. A bone bruise.
And those are super painful.
Yeah, because like it's your bone.
Because that's what, that was when Billy thought he'd broken those ribs. Like, he had bruised ribs.
yeah.
And it's like a break, but, hurts more somehow.
Yeah.
Because they didn't break.
Hey,
Yeah.
They're just really sore.
Hey,
Yeah.
Dalton. Speaking of breaks,
Okay.
did you hear about this, Kev? Did you hear about the referee that broke his leg?
Yeah, you skipped a story. But...
I know I did on purpose.
Okay, yeah.
We're talking
that
about
was
injuries.
insane. It's the same thing with Pac when he broke his finger.
Yeah.
And lifted it up and it was turned the wrong way. Only it was this mother effer's leg.
Yeah.
Because it was just
Yeah,
like,
his ankle.
oh god, it was gross.
I
Also,
forget,
is
someone
not-
showed it to me on the show on Saturday, and I forget who it was, but they were like, "Did you hear about the ref that broke his leg?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And it may have been John Massey, but showed it to me, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
because he's
Tom-
sitting there counting the pin, and his leg is just twisted."
Tom Castor
Yeah.
is his name because
Here, I'll find a
he
picture.
deserves
It's
credit.
okay.
No, I'm
It's okay.
It's super messed up. Like, yeah, so he took a bad landing, broke his leg. I thought about showing you and talking to you about it, but then my brain was like, you know what? If he doesn't know about that, that'll be better because he's actually wrestling taking bumps.
I mean, just look at it. It's not.
And I didn't want to make you even more nervous.
Oh,
like,
me?
yeah, like, oh look, a referee broke his leg. Hey, good luck tonight having actual bumps and stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna hold off on it. I'm not gonna mention it because but I mean, holy crap! Not only did he break his leg, but then he still counted the 3.
That is
So-
dedication.
1,
Yeah.
ow, 2, ow.
So yeah, so Tom Castor, fucking hats off, man.
MVP.
Yeah, motherfucker of the week in the best way possible.
Yeah. The
positive.
the father lover of the week.
The father fucker. That
No.
just sounds weird.
That's not what I said. That's
Not
not what I
he
said.
Also gone, and yeah, I skipped to this because I wanted to connect the two injuries.
Yeah,
but
no, you're good.
going back to people being gone, and this one's kind of sad for me because I was such a big fan of him. Dean Malenko gone from WWE, the man of 1,000 holds. I loved Dean Malenko. He
One of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time.
All time.
Undoubtedly.
The greatest technical. I love Dean Malenko.
There-
also
That's
had one
the
of
only-
the greatest themes of all time, even though it was a terrible gimmick. The James Bond music. Oh,
The one that
so
the one that they sampled for Cesaro.
Cesaro, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just the only reason I didn't say the greatest is because with professional wrestling, it's such a spectrum and such an opinion-based thing
Yeah.
that it's hard to definitively say. But his name should absolutely be in every conversation anyone ever has about greatest
Also,
technical
will
wrestlers
be
of all
will
time.
be a WWE Hall of Famer someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's cool. This is somebody that if they were smart and needed more agents, AEW should totally pick up.
Or
Dean
ROH.
Malenko.
or Impact, or
he's
literally-
already booked for StarCast.
Yeah, I knew that.
So, well, I mean,
because
just-
after he was let go, he said, "I'm going to be at StarCast."
yeah, and I almost
was
feel
that
like
was that after?
yeah,
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and going back to people that were at WWE but now aren't, Arn Anderson.
Mhm.
Did you guys know he's never had his own shirt? There's never just been an Arn Anderson shirt.
That actually doesn't
That makes-
surprise me
yeah,
because
that
he's
makes
so
sense.
closely tied to the Four Horsemen.
Yeah, but I'm because Pro Wrestling Tees made a big deal about it because of course
The first ever Arn Anderson solo shirt.
yeah, I'm probably gonna buy it in a couple weeks.
You should. Double A was always one of my
Yeah, that's cool.
favorites.
Yeah, I love him. I'm really hoping Dean Malenko gets a shirt soon because
Which and he could, and that's one of the cool things about Pro Wrestling Tees. Like to go back to the story we talked about a couple weeks ago with Jim Cornette and the bootleg shirts of Pro Wrestling Tees is one of the best ways you can support an independent
because they
wrestler.
recently just did a thing of we have paid over
$5 million,
$5
isn't it?
million
Yeah.
to professional wrestlers.
Yeah.
which
Which granted,
insane.
$2 million of that went to the Young Bucks,
but they $5 million still went out to
Still.
professional
Yeah.
wrestlers.
which is super awesome. Yeah, Dean, and this is one of those we don't have a lot of details on what happened. Some stories say he was fired, some stories say he quit. We don't really. This is one of those things where until he talks about it, we're not going to know for sure. This was one of the things that people were talking about of like go back a couple weeks and we talked about all of the new producers and agents that WWE hired.
Out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah, so they may kind of be rotating some talent out.
Which I understand that, but I feel like you have to keep some veterans. I mean, that's a mistake. It's not saying that Shane Helms is not a veteran,
right,
or DeVar is not a veteran, but you have to admit there's a level of veteran that you get with a guy like Dean Malenko or Arn Anderson that you want to keep some of those guys around.
But at the same time, like if WWE is making this push to genuinely change and like switch up the product that they're putting out, some of that happened. Like a lot of that is backstage stuff too.
I feel like they should maybe switch the writers
for good or bad,
and the McMahon.
Seemingly, the writers' room is a revolving door, though.
Rotate the McMahon out. Let me have a different McMahon in the charge. I don't know which one. Any of them.
Linda.
Since we talked about Starcast, I want to jump down to a different story real quick of WWE. Because this happened last week, we didn't get a chance to talk about, but I wanted to talk about it.
I'm not happy about it.
WWE pulled The Undertaker and Kurt Angle from Starcast.
Yeah.
And gave kind of a half-hearted, statement to Conrad Thompson about like, we'll make it up to you. So their offer was, we will give you Ric Flair, Sting, and there's a third name I'm totally blanking on. Eric Bischoff.
I was about to say Dean Malenko.
No, and Eric.
Can they give him Eric Bischoff?
Well,
No.
apparently they can because all three of those guys were already scheduled to appear at Starcast.
Because here's the funny thing about Eric Bischoff. I can't speak for the other two. Except for the fact that the person that puts on Starcast, I don't know if you're aware, well, it's Conrad Thompson.
Yeah.
Ric Flair's son-in-law.
And doesn't he do the podcast with Eric Bischoff?
Yes.
Yeah, he's the co-host.
Eric Bischoff's on like 4 panels that weekend.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna get angry. Sting, I'm sure it's just because Flair's buddies, but like, F WWE on this call.
Well, and then Conrad Thompson does the ultimate. He hands them just the biggest
troll
L
move. Yeah.
Of, okay, well, if you're taking these guys, because apparently they have signed contracts of they were supposed to appear, but it's not worth getting into a legal battle with WWE because they have infinite money and infinite lawyers. And Conrad Thompson, I'm sure, is a very successful real estate agent and pulls some decent money for these appearances and
it's not McMahon
podcast
money.
stuff, but it's not McMahon money. It's not WWE money. So he's like, all right, well, tell you what, make it up to me. Give me any of the above. Give me Triple H, Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, or Stephanie McMahon. Give me the 4 McMahons or HBK, because he wants to do a panel of HBK and Scott Hall doing going over their ladder match, which would be a super cool panel thing.
yeah.
HBK loved the idea so much he pitched it to WWE, and so that's going to be an online special. So they stole that from him anyway. But then
I have one finger up. Here comes the other one. Give it to me.
He then said, and also, if any of the McMahons, Triple H, or HBK appear, I will donate all of the revenue to their appearances to Connor's Cure, and I will personally match that donation.
Because Conrad Thompson actually does have a lot of money.
Yeah. So holy shit.
Well, you know
that is throwing the gauntlet down and then just picking it back up and beating them with it.
Yeah, but you know the
He
worst
put
part
his
of that.
dick on the table and said,
Well, his dick had the Infinity Stones in it. Yeah. The worst part about it, though, is that no one will remember this.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like that's not the big headline is WWE pulls Undertaker and Kurt Angle.
Yeah. So the fact that Conrad Thompson, it's a middle finger. It's one of those call their bluff. There's no way they'll do this things. But at the same time, the offer's on the table.
And if they do, that is amazing. How much money is that going to raise for a really great cause?
That's what I'm saying. Is even though this was a middle finger, it's an opportunity to do something really great.
Right.
And but I honestly the McMahons will not take him up on it.
And I genuinely don't think Conrad Thompson meant to do it fully. Like he's not only doing it to spite WWE and to give them a black eye. I genuinely think he's like, okay, well, you're kind of screwing me here, but I can turn this into a positive because I don't listen to a whole lot of his stuff on podcasts and everything, but he seems like a genuinely good dude.
Yeah, no, he does. I love all of his podcasts.
Everything I've seen him, seems like he's a sweetheart and that he genuinely would come to this as a, I'm going to turn a negative into a positive and how can I make as much good as possible out of it? If it happens to kind of be, I'm going to make you look real shitty too because you're kind of fucking me.
And that's
that's just an ad. That's just the cherry on top.
Because again, it's super important to note, businessman.
Yeah.
And Ric Flair's son-in-law. You don't think that he doesn't have a petty bone in his body or a couple hundred?
And I think that's the only reason they won't do it is because if they do it, if they send anyone there to do it, everyone will go, "Oh, they got you. Mm-hmm. He got you." And
we don't negotiate with terrorists,
right? Which is sad because send Shane McMahon over there or Vince. Imagine if Vince appeared at Starcast, blow the roof off the place. like there's a good chance that people might boo him, but at the same time they will hang on his every word.
Yeah, he will have a very hostile reaction initially, but I think he would
he would win him over because he's Vince
Yeah.
McMahon.
Yeah,
like
I also think that a lot of that like a lot of those people would be genuinely interested to see a like honest, like actual like Vince McMahon panel, because that is not a look of Vince McMahon we've ever truly got.
as opposed to like the Stone Cold podcast, where even though Stone Cold is a
Yeah.
very good podcast host, there was a lot of softball.
You knew what that was
questions.
going to do. Yeah.
Moving on, Jazz had to evacuate.
She vacated the.
She did evacuate the belt. Yes.
Yeah,
she left it in a haste.
Yeah.
She vacated
Which
the
did
NWA championship. Oh.
Did they crown a new champion at the Crockett Cup?
Sienna,
Sienna won it. Okay.
I believe so.
Because I knew there was the.
It was her between. It was between her and Santana Garrett.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was Sienna.
So was she injured? Why'd she vacate it?
I don't
We
know.
don't have we don't really know. Like at least I couldn't find the full story. I just thought it was
honestly
worth.
Forgot she was the champion until I saw the story pop up.
I just thought it was worth mentioning that had happened.
Agreed.
NWA.
And moving on, Sheamus has a concussion.
Yes, that's part of the reason that the bar got split up, because he has been struggling with injuries for a very long time. Apparently, part of the reason the bar lasted so long was because this was straight up extending his career.
Yeah, that's a shame too, because Sheamus is such a good talent.
I have loved Sheamus since ECW.
Yeah,
Like when he was the goofy, just pale, like beaker hair.
I've
Too
been
many limes.
I've been dealing with his mohawk for so long now. I forgot that he had the beaker hair at one point.
Yeah.
Because that mohawk looked much better, much better. I'm sad about this. I don't want Sheamus to be gone. I don't like it when people stop being who they are, except for the people that I wish they weren't who they were. And then if they could change, stop being who they are and be someone better, that would be better. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
But Sheamus,
Yeah, good. You got out of it.
Yeah,
Is great.
Allison Kay won the
So that's Sienna though, right?
yeah.
Okay. I'm just
And
using
then
it-
Jazz vacated the title due to medical and personal reasons. So that's
Okay.
that's a bummer.
That sucks. Yeah. I was super excited for her to have it. Like I thought it was neat whenever she won it, but then it just like it's the issue with NWA. If you don't keep up with it, like on the reg, you forget who like
who's who.
Yeah.
Also, still sucks about Sheamus.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
that's a bummer.
Ali, tell us your favorite Sheamus moment. There's only one.
Is there?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what it is after you get it wrong.
oh, she gets it right.
I don't
him
know.
and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I'll take it.
I mean, that's a good one.
Oh, I thought
That's a good one.
the way your face kind of dropped there for a second was like, oh, she got it.
She was close. To me, my favorite Sheamus moments, as stupid as it is, was the backstage interaction with Beaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That
I
was
don't
just
know if I
incredibly
ever
good.
saw that.
Anytime the Muppets were on Raw, it was just amazing.
was
It was a treat.
It was so stupid, but it was amazing.
Yeah.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. All right, moving on. John Cena reportedly joins the Fast and Furious 9 cast, which is, do you think he's going to replace The Rock?
Not as a like he's not gonna just step into the character. Like he's not gonna be Hobbs out of nowhere.
No, just
or Shaw, whichever one he is. It doesn't matter.
I feel like they're going to move Hobbs and Shaw away from the franchise and segregate them to their own storyline stuff.
Yeah.
Because, you obviously have Hobbs and Shaw coming out, which, by the way, looks like the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. How we got here from the first Fast and the Furious movie, I will never know. With that said, Vin Diesel and The Rock clearly did not get along very well. That is well publicized.
I didn't see, and I honestly
Yeah.
did not know that until literally 2 days ago when this story broke.
Really?
Because so I knew The Rock and what's his name, secondary character,
Tyrese.
Tyrese. I knew they didn't like each other because Tyrese was like, "Hey, I got bills to pay," and The Rock is delaying this movie, which wasn't true. But it's just like, okay, well, kind of screw that guy.
He was being
It's like, who do
Lunchbox
you-
Lewis to him.
Who do you think they're going? Who do you think they're going to
sounds Larry?
side with, The Rock or Tyrese? And then I had no idea the Vin Diesel stuff was happening. So it turns out
Lunchbox
that
Justin.
So it turns out that The Rock will not be appearing in Fast and the Furious 9, and then Vin Diesel did a video where he thanked Paul Walker again for sending him. He's like he's always looking out for me. He always provides, and he's really outdone himself this time. And then he fans over to John Cena, who just does the "you can't see me."
Well, that's kind of creepy, though.
So that's the tease that.
Is he the ghost of Paul Walker now?
So
like,
that's-
I feel like it's like Paul Walker is Jesus at this point. Paul Walker always provides. Everybody, let's bow our
calls
heads.
him Pablo.
Remember the time Paul Walker drove a car on water?
Remember when there was only one set of prints in the sand?
There's
That's
only-
when- that's when Paul Walker
There was only one
married
set
you.
of tire tracks.
Oh, we're shitty.
Yeah, that's
I realized the water
because
when-
he was towing you the whole time.
Oh goddamn!
So it's not yet.
yet.
So it's definitely not confirmed. It's definitely not confirmed that John Cena. It's just like that's the rumor everyone's running with, which could be cool. Cena's a fine actor.
and in the
Fine speech.
and in
Especially in a movie like this.
And,
Oh yeah, this is his wheelhouse.
This is where he thrives.
No
Yeah.
pun
And-
intended.
and would be great. And it would
Pure
be interesting.
octane.
It would be interesting to see him as like the big bad in the next movie because I don't know if I don't know what details. I have checked out of the Fast and the Furious
Long
franchise
time ago.
since Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the first two. Like I remember them happening. I just couldn't tell you what happened. In
I
either
remember
of
the
them.
first one being about illegal street racing.
Yeah. And now they're saving they're literally saving the world. And
From
I
the
was just
super soldier Idris Elba.
the last 20 minutes of the last one that came out. I watched at Jesse's because we were waiting to go up to Villainous Grounds. And I was very bummed out that they didn't do the alien invasion. And it was like, they can't do aliens in Fast and Furious. That's insane. And then this movie has a literal Superman. So,
Black Superman.
I mean, why do you have to put that qualifier on there?
No, they say it in the trailer.
Oh, do they?
Idris Elba says, "I'm Black Superman," and then something happens, and The Rock goes, "Damn, he is Black Superman." I thought that line was very funny. It's basically Fast and Furious has been quickly becoming the Saints Row of movies, where it kind of started normal.
Yeah.
serious.
and it's
Maybe I need
getting
to
shitty
maybe I need to go
crazy.
through and watch those. But
Honestly, like it was fairly serious up until they like half-ass rebooted it.
was that 5 or 4?
Four, I
because
think.
it
'Cause
was
3
Fast
was-
and the Furious. It was 2 Fast, 2 Furious,
Tokyo
Drift,
Drift,
Fast and Furious,
Fast
and the Furious,
5.
Fast 5, Fast 6. Fuck, I don't know.
The Fasters.
I only know because it pissed me
Fast
off.
and Furious. One of them was Fast and Furious,
which was 5 or 4.
no, that was just
Holy
Fast.
shit.
Well, anyway,
'Cause it was the 4
Let
was-
me go back.
And there
So-
was Fate of the Furious.
That was number 8.
Here was the bullshit part about working at fucking Hastings, where like we had a fucking weekly debate of the Fast and the Furious movies. Do we put them all together? Well, we can't. Why? Well, 2 Fast, 2 Furious has to go in the numbers
right.
because it's the number 2.
So I have the official track listing. It's
Oh God, here we go.
It's the Fast and the Furious.
Yes.
Too Fast, Too Furious.
Great movie.
Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Uh-huh.
Fast and Furious.
Fucking knew
That
it.
was 4.
Fast 5.
Uh-huh.
Fast and Furious 6.
Okay, so I was still right.
Furious 7.
I wouldn't have known
The
that.
Fate of the Furious.
That was 8.
And now Hobbs and Shaw.
And then Fast and the Furious 9, which is yet to be untitled, but will likely be Furious in the Fast.
On here it says plus untitled 9th film, untitled 10th film, untitled female reboot.
which is apparently
Hell,
supposed
yes.
to. Apparently, Ronda Rousey's supposed to be part of that.
Hell no.
Well, she did great
She
in
was
Mortal
already in one of
Kombat.
them. Oh, don't bring that up. Also, they better give me my rewards. That update downloaded, and they said like, "Oh, hey, you're finally getting the update 2 days behind PS4, and the rewards are coming later though." Like, why?
Because NetherRealm
Why?
did not put their poop in a group for once.
Also, Roman Reigns in Hobbs and Shaw.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can see
They
him in
give
the trailer
away,
now.
they give away his spear in the trailer.
And he goes, "Ooh." He does that well.
You
The
didn't
trailer
put
makes
the
it look like
odd
he's
in.
a big part of it too.
Yeah.
But even though he was apparently only on set for like 2 days.
Well,
I mean, the way they film those movies, I feel like you can knock out a bunch of shit in 2 days.
and I feel like that entire ending where they go to the island back home is like the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Also, since we're talking about Fast and Furious so much and 2 Fast, 2 Furious, the director of that movie passed away like 2 days ago. John Singleton.
Yes. Oh,
That was a bummer.
I know this is not the show for it, but John Singleton was one of the most influential directors.
Oh yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Growing up, I grew up in a very urban place.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a lot of John Singleton movies and movies like that. So yeah, I was super bummed out when he died.
And 2
51
Fast and
years
Furious
old.
is my favorite Fast and the Furious movie. I love Ludacris.
Luda. I can't say I've ever liked any of the Fast and Furious, but I don't dislike them.
I haven't seen anything past Tokyo Drift. I'm willing to say if I told Jesse, hey, I need to see these.
Let's make that a show where we review the best of the Fast. And the
Oh, my
Furious.
Oh, we are not doing a Fast and the Furious in review until like we can't rip off Kind of Funny that hard, but also we're not doing that until I get my goddamn Dragon Pod Z. I forgot the name of
that one too.
I forgot the the name of my fake.
Dragon.
Talk the Dragon.
Dragon Pod Z.
All right, let's move on.
And we broke them.
WWE is advertising superstars for the next Saudi show.
Let me get
How
that.
many of them are in the women's division?
It's funny
Alex.
because none.
Oh God, she really is hurt. She's not responding to tickling.
Let me get
Oh
the.
my God, are you okay?
Are you all right, brother?
You need to call the ambulance.
No,
Will you throw up the X, brother?
no.
Okay,
You want to do some X later?
brother.
Hurry up.
That sounds like an 80s locker room.
Saudi
down,
General
brother.
Sports
Snort
Authority,
this.
blah blah blah. So Friday, June 7th, WWE Super. The event will feature WWE superstars Roman Reigns,
Okay.
The Undertaker,
Yep.
Kofi Kingston, Braun Strowman,
Yep.
Seth Rollins, AJ Styles,
Yep.
Brock Lesnar,
Well, that's weird.
Maybe.
and Goldberg.
I saw that one.
Oh,
Goldberg.
that sweet Saudi money.
Oh, God, I just realized the implications of that.
Wait, he's Jewish.
Yup, there it was.
Oh, they're gonna have to change his name to
His
like
name's going to be Gold. You can't put that Berg in there.
Bill
He's
Gold.
going to show up in gold dust.
No, he can't do that either. Not there. He just,
Well, not the gimmick, just the costume.
his name's gonna be Bill. From Georgia,
Bill Jones.
Bill G. Like when Balls Mahoney was B Mahoney on the toys.
I almost bought that figure.
The
this
B.
weekend.
Mahoney?
Yep.
Oh, that's bad. Alexander Wolf is rejoining NXT. Actually, is he going to NXT UK?
NXT
That's what I mean,
UK.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Did
that.
not
It's on
put
there.
the-
Yeah, no,
okay.
it's
No, I
NXT
mean,
UK.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Because Killian Dane, I just read today, was going back to the regular NXT.
That's allegedly that's what Meltzer's predicting, I think. But he's technically, I think, still on the SmackDown roster. But because the only reason I really put that on there is because a lot of people thought Alexander Wolf was leaving WWE entirely.
That's
After
how he
that
made it
tweet.
sound.
After that
yeah.
tweet, but no, he's back at NXT UK, already doing he's already been then put in the forefront because him and Eichner and
Walter's in it.
it's Walter, it's Wolf, and then it's Fabian Eichner and his tag team partner
I can't think of it either.
that I'm totally blanking on, but they've started their own stable called Imperium.
And that, ooh.
Yeah, so
Ooh. Also, any of the PWU fans, if you find the Alexander Wolf Elite that's Chase only to Target, and you were to find it, I would PayPal you the money plus shipping plus a little extra.
Don't do that.
I need it.
Don't do
It's the
that.
last one I need, Shannon.
Don't beg on the show.
I'm begging on the show.
Don't beg. That's sad.
Oh.
It makes you look desperate.
I am desperate for that figure. It's gorgeous. I censored myself on that one.
Well,
I don't know why.
Fabian Eichner's old ring name was Adrian Severe.
That's awesome.
That's badass.
That's awesome. Severe is such a cool name.
Changing my name to wrestling.
Marcel Barthel.
That's what it was.
That's
Yeah. I knew it
that
was
was
an M.
that was gonna bug me.
But Allie, what's the best former ring name that someone's had?
Elijah Petty.
It's only one.
Shit.
There's only one right answer. It was Edges. Dalton hit her with it.
Sexton Hardcastle.
Sexton Hardcastle.
Excuse you, Chris Jericho's Jack Action would like a word with you.
Jack Action. Oh, what about Matt Classic?
Actually,
That was just a different gimmick.
I also just really like
Officer
that
Cabana.
name. I do think that I am going to start training to be a wrestler. And my name will be Duke Kaboom.
I thought you were Gene Eric.
No, that's someone else.
Oh,
That's me.
That's someone else. No, it's not. You can't. Have
No,
it.
you say
You
that.
can't have it.
Be like, I started working in Arkansas.
I will
Lisa.
Tanya Harding your just.
knee.
Yeah.
You'll
The good thing-
Tanya Harding my knee.
the good thing about you and I is that we already come bundled with great gimmicks. The 5-star man, Mr. 100, he's suffering.
I'm Dalton Anthony,
He's
guys.
just a big
And a guy.
and teaming up with Bill, Dalton. Dalton and Bill.
Bill G. Dalton A.
I just had flashbacks to a couple days ago.
All right, let's talk about Impact Rebellion.
We can move on. The big news of that was it
Elgin.
seemed like it was the we had Elgin appear, which we talked about, Brian Cage getting injured in the new champion, and then it seemed like that was the send off for Lucha Bros.
Yes. Okay, moving on. Monday Night Raw. And actually something we haven't had a chance to talk about on the show yet. And I am kind of excited about it, and I actually have really enjoyed it so far, and that is the Firefly Funhouse.
Oh, I love
Yes.
it.
It's incredible.
I can't wait for them to ruin it, but I absolutely love it.
The Firefly Funhouse is actually in the middle of a gym because Bray Wyatt
Has
has
been
like
lost.
reworked himself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's
He's a beast now.
he's managed to just reinvent his because
Yes.
have you seen the picture of him with a fan where
No.
he's kind of at like a side angle, but now he's just full on built like Rusev.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
looks like. Which granted,
His arms and shoulders got so much bigger, even in a sweater.
see, and that's the thing is like even
All
you
right,
can
well, I guess I'm going to stop showing Allie Firefly Funhouse.
because even in the sweater you can tell because it's kind of it's almost hiding his midsection a little bit, so he still seems like he's big around the middle,
But it looks,
but that you can tell it's tapered in a little bit.
yeah, it looks so good.
But I feel like the first time we see him in ring gear, people are going to be like, "Oh, what the hell?"
I feel like he's going to look like a smaller Strowman.
And I'm gonna say it again. Give him face tattoos, and he's Post Malone.
Stop it.
Don't give him face.
Stop
Don't
it.
listen to Allie. Allie's
I'm
usually
not
the best
telling
of us.
him to actually do it.
Yeah,
I'm
I hate
just
Bray
saying
Wyatt.
they look the same.
So I think Tanner put this on the group chat, I'm pretty sure, and I don't know if it's true because I didn't fact check him, but let's just assume he's telling the truth, that Tom Savini is the one that did the puppets.
Nope, that was me.
Yeah.
And yes, Tom.
Did you say that?
I did,
he
and
did.
then Tanner, because Tanner freaked out because he
That's
loves
what
Tom
it was.
Savini.
Okay, thank you. At least I knew Tanner was involved.
Because
Somehow.
Tanner was the only one that acknowledged it.
Well, you I trust.
because
Tom
no-
Savini. So Tom Savini, if you don't know, is one of the greatest makeup artists of all time. He did the work
Horror
on the
movie
Romero
icon.
films. Yeah. He was in From Dusk Till Dawn. Allie, who was he in From Dusk Till Dawn?
I know.
Allie?
Wait.
Dalton's
I know
Steel.
I know it.
He has
Dalton
the
can steal,
gun
I'm
in his
too
crotch.
tired.
The gun that pops up.
Sex Machine.
Sex Machine.
he also is the
Of
like
course I know that character.
Bring it on, Sex Machine.
because this isn't the first time that he's worked with WWE. He designed Luke Harper's masks when he was doing the Bludgeon Brothers. So like the deer skull mask.
He's incredibly good at being creepy.
One of the directors or producers of the Firefly Funhouse segments tweeted out like what an honor it was to be able to work with Tom Savini's crew.
That is so cool.
So it may not have been Savini himself, but it was
his group.
Yeah,
Kind of like when the Henson Workshop. Like
Yeah.
Jim Henson
Yeah.
did not make every single thing you see.
right.
He's just his team.
But
that's very cool.
Yeah,
Because those puppets are effective. Like the
Yeah.
witch is legitimately creepy.
Abby the witch.
The buzzard is or is it a turkey? It's a buzzard.
No,
it's
it's a
Mercy.
buzzard.
Mercy
Yeah.
the buzzard.
Buzzard.
And now the new rabbit, which I don't remember his name.
Ramblin' Rabbit.
Ramblin' Rabbit, son of a bitch.
Which the first one was so out there, and I love this. But it's the thing, and we talked about it like between ourselves, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it on the show. This is amazing. This is a way to keep him legitimately creepy without going full like I'm
Eater
the
of
new god of
worlds.
fear, eater of worlds thing. This is legitimately like okay,
This is actually creepy.
this is creepier because it seems like it's directed at children.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like he's specifically targeting like little kids, which makes it almost worse.
Yeah.
And the whole like he does it so well, like listening to the Hurt Glove,
Yeah.
and then cutting off the head of his because he's like, I used to be a bad man, but now everything like I'm better now.
His tweet stuff has been funny too.
Him on Twitter has been great.
His
and just
painting that he did of his house burning.
of the cabin burning with
Ooh.
with Abby's face,
Yeah.
in the cabin.
That's great.
Oh, it's so good. And then the whole just like friendship that'll never end, and then just I let the fireflies light the way. All you have to do is let me in.
And
he always
it's the pause.
It's the pause and the tone shift
Yeah.
of just let me in. It's the vampire rule of they can't enter your home unless you invite them in.
he's killing it. He's
He is-
absolutely killing
and
it.
Kayfabe News had a great headline of tonight's episode of Firefly Funhouse, accompanied by 2 hours and 56 minutes of other stuff. Like just because, but here's the thing for me is I'm super digging this. This is the most interested I've been in Bray Wyatt in years.
Agreed.
And I'm someone who's always liked Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Disappointed in how they've handled him, but I've loved the character and the worker. I need to see how this translates into the world of Raw. How do other superstars react to this? How does this translate into what he does in the ring?
I feel like character-wise, once he actually gets to the ring, it's going to be even more Waylon Mercy-like
Yeah.
than before.
Which was the best version of Bray Wyatt, in my opinion.
The Waylon Mercy style,
The cult
polite,
leader.
yeah, polite until you get in the ring with him, and then he's a monster.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's going to have a lot of like forgiveness things of like, oh, I did a bad thing, but he's going to slowly unravel as time goes on,
Right.
till he breaks, and now you have this whole new monster. I love what they're doing with Bray Wyatt. It kind of reminds me of like what they could have done with Matt Hardy with the broken stuff. They could have done something like this instead of having him stand in front of that same damn was it?
Backdrop.
The backdrop with a fish. Like, oh,
At least this was meant to look bad,
yeah, but it looks
then
great.
looks amazing because of it.
Because it's spot on. It's spot on for a kid show.
Yeah.
I think it was Hunter or it may have been Asa because it's always Asa. Said they got a very much a green is not a creative color vibe.
Green is not
Yep.
a create. That's my
Us-
new tag on Reddit.
Oh,
It's a picture of Bray Wyatt with green is not a creative color.
I also just at some point need the Mr. Rogers reference from I forget what it's called. It was a YouTube thing that Calvin showed me a long time ago where it was like the greatest showdown of destiny, and in the end it ends up being like Godzilla versus Mr. Rogers, and he's in a bloodstained sweater.
Godzilla won, right? Because he stepped on him.
It was a tie.
Mother.
I don't know.
I
just,
don't remember, but it was just like all these huge characters in pop culture, and there was Mr. Rogers in a bloodstained sweater.
I just realized that my old flare on Reddit was a picture of Bailey, and it said, "Don't hug me, I'm scared."
Which is also
So my flare
from
has
the
been
same
my
thing?
flare
Yeah.
has been from that for like the last like 4 years.
By the way, if you have never seen this, look up "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared."
Mm-hmm.
It's the first one especially.
yeah, it's. I mean, they're
Oh.
all friggin' nuts, but it's
Yeah.
it's this. It seems like someone showed Vince those videos, and he's like,
someone showed Triple H those videos. And he's just like, I like it.
I'm-
Make it happen.
there's a couple things from Raw that I thought we're mentioning over the last couple weeks. The Viking experience is now the Viking Raiders.
Yes.
Not better.
I think it's better.
They should not have the word Viking in their name. Make it just the Raiders.
Or the
which you
Dovahkiin.
can't because of the football team, but like
Call them the Dovahkiins.
the Kings.
The Dragonborn. If only they wouldn't get sued for that. That would be a
Right.
badass name.
So that's stupid.
Dragonsire.
This past week on Raw, we got apparently the WWE offered the Revival like 5 years, $500,000 a year. They turned it down, and now they're in a story with the Usos where the Usos filmed them shaving each other's backs.
Also, did you hear that apparently they extended
Scott Dawson's
contract by 2 months?
I thought it was Dash
It was
Wilder's.
like 5 months, whichever.
Yeah,
It was Wilder.
Which one's Dash?
Which one's
the one
Dawson?
that killed the guy at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's like, well, that's why they wanted him longer, just in case to run security, to
Yeah.
bounce people out.
For $500,000 a year.
And
Someone
now they're
on-
shaving each other's backs.
I just saw a thing on Twitter where it was like, I just tried to cancel my WWE Network subscription, and they declined it and added 6 months to my account. It's like, oh, that's too real. So that whole storyline's stupid. And what is less stupid, we're finally getting Robert Roode back. He's got the mustache and everything.
God,
and I
that's
feel
so
like
great.
everyone is forgetting that he was originally Robert Roode in TNA.
Yeah.
It wasn't until he turned face and decided, I'm a working man. I'm one of you guys, like cold beer and USA.
Sports
even
and
though I'm
women.
Canadian. He changed his name to Bobby to be more relatable.
Bobby
and I hated it.
Roode.
And I've always hated Bobby Roode as a name. I was really looking forward to them changing it back when he went to NXT, and then they didn't.
Yeah.
But now we're finally back to it, and I am happy.
I still remember the first time I saw Robert Roode was the who's his manager going to be, and he was like scouting out all the different. Bobby Heenan was there, and others that I can't remember. I think Jimmy Hart probably, because you really can't have a manager thing without Jimmy Hart.
Mhm.
There's a Mount Rushmore of managers, and it's Jimmy Hart, Bobby Heenan,
Mr.
Heyman.
Fuji.
Mr. Fuji.
Paul
I was going
Heyman.
to say Paul Heyman. I was going to say Jim Cornette too,
Yeah.
but
That'd
like,
be fair. Yeah.
but there's also
There's
Freddie
a-
Blassie.
Yeah, there's a
it's
lo-
too much.
yeah,
it's
the-
too much.
That's that's almost a show.
Yeah.
And then this past week, we got our Money in the Bank competitors announced. The Raw side is going to be Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, Baron Corbin, and Braun Strowman.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the women's end, it's Naomi, Natalya, Dana Brooke, and Alexa Bliss.
That'd be cool.
Alexa Bliss lost to Naomi.
Because she
her
lost her
shoes.
shoes. The shoes, they make me fall down. Anyone gets that reference, I will give you $1.
Oh, it's Hey Arnold.
You're wrong.
Damn it. A lot of people
Doug.
are obsessed with shoes these days.
So you're both just not even in the ballpark.
Allie, tell us what it really is.
I have no idea. I'm
Sorry.
not gonna act like I know.
Jesus Christ.
Someone's being
let's
and then
move
and then
on.
SmackDown, we got the Big O joined the New Day and immediately turned on the New Day to no one's surprise.
That dastardly bastard.
The Hardys were attacked by Lars Sullivan, and they were announced last night that the Hardys had to vacate the tag team titles
Jeff's injured.
because Jeff is legitimately injured.
Up
though.
to 9 months out.
6 to 9
apparently.
months.
Yeah.
What'd he do?
It's something with his leg,
Ah, it sucks.
which
So-
with his style, like it's. I'm curious if he comes back.
His shelf life has to be extremely short at this point.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
because of how much he's put his body through already.
Yeah.
Just like I'm not. That's not a detriment to the man. It's just like the human body is only capable of so much,
Right.
and he's.
Are you listening,
I've-
Jackson Crowley? Do you hear the words we're saying with our mouths?
and I'm willing to bet Jeff has already. He's got his bump card is pretty full.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that is Stone
That
Cold
explains
says.
the last couple of years of Swanton bombs, where he's like, "Oh, cushion."
Yeah.
Well, except that time he swanton the goddamn side of the ring.
Well, I
The
mean,
ring
you,
apron.
You take one.
Oh, screw that.
And then the SmackDown side of the Money in the Bank announcements were Ali, Randy Orton, Finn Balor, and Andrade, and then Bayley, Carmella, Mandy Rose, and Ember Moon, rounding out the.
Braun is
going to
be such a good base in that.
Braun and Drew.
True.
And honestly, like Corbin,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of big guys in this. And then
when I saw the 4-1 report about it, the first thing they did was shit all over Baron Corbin again.
of course they do. I mean, that's all they do because he's the most effective. But like, granted, he is tiptoeing that line of go home heat, of like go away heat, legitimate. But he is
I
one
feel
of the
that.
he is one of the most effective heels that WWE has right now.
I am CCW's Baron Corbin.
No, you're more respected than Baron Corbin is, because a lot of people don't give Baron Corbin the respect I think he deserves.
Maybe he
Yeah.
needs new
Just-
shoes.
and it's not necessarily even stuff that he is like to be faulted for.
Right.
Because he's not like blowing the roof off with like
Well, he's not
charisma or
flashy.
match
But-
quality.
But let me reiterate: if I go to Monday Night Raw and they say, "Hey, you're gonna be in 8 segments," I don't give a shit what you were saying.
Yeah,
I'm on TV 8 times. Yeah, no, I'm taking that gig.
yeah. So
Yes.
that was
I agree.
Raw and SmackDown 2 weeks worth.
All right, let's talk about CCW.
Okay.
And then we're going to get out of here
gonna take
Yeah.
and get them tacos. So CCW Super Show 3 was over the weekend, and I can say without hyperbole that it was the biggest show we've ever done.
You're giving me the Matt Fitchett of wait.
Have I been saying hyperbole
Have I
wrong?
been saying hyperbole wrong my whole life?
No, that just is a story that scarred me from my youth when you had to get up and read in front of the class, and I said hyperbole, and the crowd started laughing.
Oh.
And I was like, what? And they
Because
were like,
you've-
it's hyperbole. And I'm like, this is only, like, I'm just a sophomore in college. Why would I know that?
Well, it's a thing. Like there's even a How I Met Your Mother episode about it. Of it's a word that you've only ever read.
Yeah.
And
And
so
it looks like hyperbole.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Because
That
like
was great.
I went. No, yeah. So I feel you, but that's why in my head I was like, wait, because I've always said hyperbole and no one's called me out on it. Are they just laughing at me?
This whole time.
no.
Every time.
I'm just gonna curl up in this ball.
So I don't even know where to begin with Super Show. Not only the personal investment we had in it, and let's talk about the personal investment we had in it. So we started with Cape Championship Wrestling. Oh my God! It
2
feels
years
like
ago.
it feels like we've been doing it forever.
No,
I mean,
3
well,
years ago.
We started. All right. So here's the thing.
Oh yeah,
you're-
well yeah, 2 years ago because it was Super Show 1 was our first.
If you go to watch the very first episode of CCW Chaos,
It was.
one of us is the first person you see. I want to say it's me, but I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
It's one of us two.
I'm gonna need you to tone that hair down.
No one
to
can see it.
Asa.
It's fine.
I mean, you have a me going on where it's just like, what is going on? But
No, it's so much shorter than your hair has been in the last 5 years.
that's
Nicer.
fair.
I have a grown-up's haircut.
Anyway, we've been invested since the TV show, even a little bit before that.
We start it's not. I don't think it's unfair to say that we started the TV show. We started that because we kind of pitched each other the idea of, hey, what if we did backstage stuff that eventually would just be Facebook exclusive.
Yeah.
But then it ended up being shown at the shows, and then we've been working closely with CCW for more
Almost
than
since
2
the
years
beginning.
now.
Since the Matt Hardy show, that was the first time me and you did interviews.
I still remember the day Jason and Lee came into the store, and we sat here and had a conversation with them for an hour. And I remember when Osby called us and was like, "Hey, you want to do the TV show? You want to be the commentators?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been working with them, and even before that, we've been fans since day one.
Yeah.
So we have had such an attachment to CCW, and it's that old saying that if you work hard and you stick with it, good things can happen. That's what happened this Saturday, because this Saturday, literally each of us had a different aspect of the show that we were vital to. And this is coming from the guys that just sat in the front row and cheered for however long.
Yeah.
It was an amazing show. It was our WrestleMania, and it really was. And I can't say how proud I am of every single person that did it. It was very, very cool. And that's top to bottom.
Yeah, not just this isn't just us putting each other over.
No.
No, this was very much a as Endgame was a culmination of 10 years of 21 movies leading up to this moment. This was for us, this is a culmination of not just for us here at the table, but for Jason and Lee and Ken and Adam and every wrestler and everyone who's been a part of this from the beginning.
Yeah.
To build up to the first live pay-per-view.
Yes. And it
And
went
then,
off very well.
Yeah, I genuinely I told Audra, because I was, you can ask her, I was a nervous wreck for the pretty much from the week before the production meeting, when it was oh hey, yeah, so we're doing a pay-per-view thing. From the when we knew it was going to be a pay-per-view all the way through. I was just I'm terrified. I'm not going to lie, I was so nervous, because for so many reasons of just and not because I didn't think we could pull it off, but because I'm a genuine crazy person whose brain always goes to the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Of just
feel that.
something terrible is going to happen out of our control. Not even that we were going to drop the ball or anyone else involved was going to drop the ball.
I thought I was going to drop the ball. Very much so.
I mean, I did too. Not that you were going to drop the ball. That I was going to just be
The whole time
I was,
you're oh, here comes Shannon.
that I was going to totally just shit the bed on
Yeah.
commentary. Because it's just okay, because now this is a whole other level of pressure.
What was your fear? Because I know you were terrified too. What were you terrified of specifically? Because Dalton and I was very easy. We were afraid we'd fuck up in the ring.
I was afraid I was going to get injured. I had a nightmare on Monday that I broke my leg in the ring.
True, he told me about this nightmare.
Yeah, I legit. And then I see Logan, he thought he dislocated his elbow. And that was the first match out. And I was I didn't tell anybody, but Monday I literally had a dream that I jumped off the top rope, which was not planned beforehand. And then I snapped my leg.
Which is whenever he got there and they're like, we should do something off the top rope. All of a sudden he went, oh.
At that point I was like, well, manifest destiny.
Asa, of course, did commentary, and he did it with Matt Stryker. So there's his fear of doing it with someone he respects. What was your fear?
Well, my fear was that I was just gonna be awful at videoing. It doesn't make sense because I've done it for
Yeah, but you didn't.
so many shows.
You didn't do it
now.
on this scale.
I didn't do it on this scale. Someone was going to be actively watching what I was filming instead of I'm filming it and then
Post production.
you just are dealing with it afterwards. I'm constantly thinking someone's watching what I'm filming and critiquing it and judging it and me because I'm doing this.
Because it's almost like we're all just like crazy worry monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everything went off without a hitch. The show was great. We got to. I again want to give credit to, especially because it was our first pay-per-view. Names I don't know if I can say, so I'm not going to say one particular name.
Yeah, there's a name that I think I dropped that I maybe shouldn't have at some point. I don't know if it was on live or something.
But we'll ignore that.
Yeah.
Louis Benson worked on the project with us. He helped run production in the back. Haven't worked with Louis in a long, long time. And I'm not going to make any bones about it. Everyone knows that there was a long time where Louis and I did not speak, but we did speak at the show. He was incredible. He was very good at what he did. We shook hands. We talked. It was very nice. We took a picture together. What the hell was that?
Why is your phone voice British?
Why is it British?
It's Australian.
He's been watching too much UK, is what it was. Adam did an incredible job. So much pressure on Adam to make this go right. And other than a few hiccups, which
happened early in the show, and they
Right.
were like immediately rectified. Part of it was I think I probably could have helped with one, but I couldn't like make out what was being said in the earpiece.
Right.
Yeah,
But
we're looking for new earpieces because they're not working that great.
Jason was incredibly happy with it, as he should be. The fans loved it. The fans were incredible that night. Like, I know we say sometimes that the worst part about wrestling are the
wrestling in
fans.
general, yeah.
I mean, we've been critical of CCW crowds in the past, being too quiet and stuff like that. Not this show. They were
No.
loud. They were responsive. All the wrestlers killed it. There wasn't a bad match on the card.
No.
Everything just was great. Brandon Barbed Wire came back, won the tag titles with Joey
Oh,
O'Reilly.
I wasn't saying that on live to like put him over. That moment probably meant the most to me out of anything because I've never got to be in a locker room with Brandon. As wrestlers,
Right.
like he's always been there. Like he's pretty much like if you didn't know, he's pretty much agent everything I've done since starting at Cape. So he's very much been like, and I mean, he was the person that brought me in to like start training. But we've never shared a locker room as wrestlers.
Yeah.
And we were right next to each other, and it was just like it was very like fitting.
And even like for me, like I was surprised at how emotional I got making the call that it was him because I knew it was happening. Like
Yeah.
I knew that was something I didn't know that was coming. But granted, I didn't know it until very close to when it happened. But like the emotion that I felt was real. And I hope that came across good in the call because it's like, even though I knew to expect it and I knew that's what was happening and when it was happening, like it was just to hear his music and the crowd reaction and to see him come out again was just like, it was overwhelming.
Especially knowing Brandon and knowing how paranoid he was that no one would care.
Yeah.
Because he was. He's like us.
Yeah.
He's a worry monster.
Oh yeah, no.
He sat in the back before it. I was back there with him, and he was just like, no one's going to care. I'm going to go out and no one's going to care. I'm like, dude, calm down. You're Brandon Barbed Wire.
Yeah.
People are going to care. My most proud moment, my favorite moment, you know what that was, Allie?
When they took your shoes.
That was my favorite moment. But because that was like one of those organic things.
And that
just
came from nowhere.
Yeah.
Like who started that?
I will tell the full story of that after he says this.
Okay.
And plus, these shoes are awesome.
That's why they wanted you. You didn't deserve those shoes.
No.
Yeah.
Mr. 100 does not deserve those shoes.
My favorite thing is that coming out of the show is that my shoes are more over than I am. Thank God. My favorite moment was the moment Dalton pinned me, and not when he hit me in the hernia. That was my least favorite moment because I got through that entire match without getting hurt. And then he drops down to pin me and just fucking drops right on my stomach. And I'm like, cool. Felt the jolt go through my body. In fact, if you watch the replay, the part where he pins me and he goes off, you see me mouth something to him. I'm pretty sure it was something like, right on my fucking hernia, you asshole.
To which I said, good fucking match.
Yeah.
You see his mouth move, you see my mouth move a little bit. And that's what that conversation
I
was
assumed
something hernia. And then I said, good match.
I saw it happening. I genuinely thought it was like a sweet moment between
No,
you
it
two.
wasn't.
It was on one half because like I didn't mean to fall right on his hernia. I meant to fall on him,
Right.
but I dropped a little too hard.
You did.
But it was one of those that like
well.
we're in this moment. He's eating the three. I'm gonna
Yeah.
he said fucking hernia, and I was decided to be a bigger dick.
But it was that moment when he got the pin and then he got up and the crowd was cheering and they had been chanting for him and stuff like that. That meant so much to me. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you had your first wrestling match, and I did, and that's incredible. But the only reason I did this in the first place was to put Dalton over. That was the agreement I made with Jason, and it finally came to fruition. And my fear was no one would care that we would go out. Marco was in the match. Joey Ryan was in the match. That once Dalton and I, it was just us. No one would give a shit anymore.
Right.
But wrong. Everyone was loud. They were so loud. And when Dalton won, to hear them cheer and to know that Dalton was like, this wasn't he won by luck or he got his ass kicked the entire. Well, you did get your ass kicked the entire time. I did kick your ass a little bit.
It's fine.
But
It's fine.
You got the victory. The crowd went nuts, and I was so happy for you.
Yeah,
I was incredibly happy for you.
And like that whole thing was surreal just because it's one of those like, yeah, we all know what wrestling is, but I was trusted by the management at CCW. We had Joey Ryan and Marco in the match, and like it got booked the way it did. Go watch on Fight, and you see how we won the 6-man, and then they trusted me and Shannon to go in and do a little spot.
To do an additional 5 minutes by yourself.
Yeah, which like I am not good enough for that at all. I'll be the first to say it.
Well, clearly we were.
I'm shitty.
No, and that's what
like I'm not a great wrestler. And it was insane. Like we got to be in the ring whenever a Road Warrior pop happened. Because like again, go back and watch it on Fight TV to see like the crowd did pop for Animal.
Oh yeah.
Which was insane. Like that's been a thing for decades, the Road Warrior pop, and we both got to be in the ring for it.
Right.
Well, I wasn't in the ring. I was peeing on myself on the outside.
Yeah, like
of the ring.
I got to be in a match with famous dick wrestler Joey Ryan and somebody that's like a legitimate. That's his famous dick wrestler. And
how'd it feel?
I think she's just rolling her eyes because you only got to be in the ring with him.
Oh yeah, somebody got to experience.
Yeah.
We'll
Shannon-
get there. Yeah. But the take his shoes thing, I was kind of like, I knew how worried Shannon was going into it. Because like I had a nightmare that I was going to break my leg, but I knew it wasn't going to happen.
Right.
Like,
I thought
so
I was just going to fuck up.
I was just like, I kept having everybody tell me, Dalton, it's another day at the office. Just treat this like a normal match and you'll be fine. And that's what I did. So I was relatively calm going into it, surprisingly.
But I've never had a normal match.
And like never bumped or anything like that. So I go to the curtain, I see Damone come out, and then I didn't go back. I sat to watch it because I wanted to see my friend not die.
Right.
And the crowd started chanting, "Take his shoes," and as I'm watching this happen, being like, "Oh, I hope he takes his shoes. That'd be funny." I have Billy Hill saying, "Dalton, make sure that motherfucker takes his shoes," and I was like, "Okay, cool."
Which I love that because I did not know that happened. And at the exact same time, Billy's telling him that Damone has just laid me out with the attitude adjustment.
The F you.
The F you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's looking at me, and I'm like, the crowd's going, take his shoes. And I'm like, take my shoes. Take them. And then I see Dalton get in the ring, and all of a sudden, they've each got a shoe in hand. I'm like, okay, they're going to take my shoes. And then I see them nod, and I'm like, oh, I know what's coming. I know what's coming.
Yeah.
Wishbone.
that was Damone's call. I loved that.
By the way, props to Damone.
Yeah.
Because we all knew Damone could be like a star. Clearly, he's a star everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
But he really hasn't had anything in CCW yet to sink his teeth into. And now he has it. He has a story. And he killed it. The crowd reaction to him when he came back out after the match was phenomenal. Huge pop.
Because face turns can be tricky.
Right.
Yeah.
In whether or not the crowd will accept you. But I think a part of that credit does go to you.
Oh,
because
yeah.
Mr.
Hated as
Mr.
you
100
are.
is Mr. 100 is over as a heel, like in a great way.
That's true.
And like as from an
So are my
outsider,
socks.
from an outside perspective, like as someone who isn't a character, to see, because that is one of the things is when we talked about like you guys going into this story, I was nervous because it was like, not because I didn't believe in you, but like, man, crowds can be fickle, indie crowds especially.
Yeah.
And so like, man, can Dalton sustain a good guy reaction? Can Shannon really elevate him to that? But like, you both do such a good job of getting the crowd behind you, and like,
Yeah.
I'm so insanely proud of both of you. And like impressed at how good you are at playing to the crowd in both of your own ways.
Thank you.
And it's really great to see that come to fruition.
I need to hear those things because everyone just assumes that everyone assumes I'm confident because they see my character.
Mm-hmm.
Like character and person are completely different.
Right.
We literally, every single one of us in Podzilla can't think of a single one that's not like obsessive, compulsive, nervous. We're all Woody Allen.
Worry monsters.
Minus the things that Woody Allen is bad
accused
about.
of. Yeah.
But let's get to the most important part of this whole conversation. Somebody touched it.
God damn it. That
Now here's my favorite part about this whole situation is Shannon, this mother effer, first wrestling match on a live pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. His first ever bump in front of a crowd was the Joey Ryan dick flip.
Yeah.
The greatest moment of my life. You know, the worst part about it was I had to tag in Joey for the hot tag, so I didn't get to see it. I had the closest seat in the house for it, but like I was having to sell. So like if you watch it, you'll just see my head kind of like this, being like, I'm gonna watch, make sure my friend takes his dick flip properly.
So we get there, and up until this point, we assumed that Logan was the partner because that's what we were told.
Yeah.
But none of us believed it.
Yeah.
We were all like, okay, there's a trick. So we get there, and Logan's there. And we're doing stuff.
Logan's stunt for those who don't.
Logan's
Oh,
stunt.
yeah,
Marco's brother.
yeah.
The bite-sized brawler. And we're talking to Logan. We're hanging out. And Jason says, by the way, the first thing he told me was, we're not doing the hip toss anymore. They axed it from the match. I'm like, okay, I've been practicing hip tosses. I literally have.
Yeah.
Allie was there.
Yes.
I took a bunch of double hip tosses.
Yes.
I don't like them because that feeling of, I don't like roller coasters, of being here and now I'm there type feeling. So I'm like, all right, cool. That's one less thing I have to do and worry about because I'm stressed about the night. And then I see Jason. He's like, hey, so the partner's here. And I'm like, isn't Logan? And I'm like, no. And Jason's laugh. And he's like, you should go say hi to him. So I walk into the back and there's Joey Ryan. And the first thing I thought was, I'm taking a dick flip, aren't I?
Jason came up to me and said, I'm taking a dick flip, and I was like, yup.
And Jason told me, I said, hey, what do you want me to do in that match? You want me to do anything? He's like, just do whatever Joey wants. Joey's going to call it. I'm like, all right, cool. So we're backstage. And if you're not a wrestler and you've never heard Joey Ryan calling a match,
It is hands down the greatest thing.
yeah, we're back there and he's talking to Lamont and Bradley and Justin and Dalton and me and Marco. And he's like, okay, drop kick to you. I hit you. And then you go to grab it and you're going to punch me. And then you hit me in the back, body slam off the top rope, boot to the face to my dick.
The first one is, I'm going to atomic drop you, you're going to sell your knee.
Right.
No, you atomic drop me, sell your knee. I'm going to grab your hand, act like you touch it, move away, forearm. And then you come in, hit me, body slam, I'll boot you in the face, headbutt into my dick. And then manager come in, touch it, flip, and then flip. And then we did the rest of the finish. But it's just one of those things where it's like, that was funny to me because it's me and Justin have been doing we are actively trying to cause manslaughter to each other.
Right.
And now we have somebody doing offense with their cock.
Around their dick.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so the greatest, and I'm sorry for cutting you off, but this was the greatest thing. So he calls that entire segment, and then Shannon says, all right, I have to ask, how do I grab it?
because that's a
And
genuine
that's how he did
question
it.
I
Yeah.
had.
He extended hand out and acted like a cupping motion and said, how do I grab it?
Right.
Me and Justin are dying.
Because to be fair, all right, so
No, it's a legitimate question.
Oh, no, it's a legitimate question.
and
But
the day before, Justin Smart had us. We were at training after we put the ring up, and he was like, "Hey, I want to do a dick flip. Grab it." And he said, grab his thigh, the inner thigh. So that's what Dalton and I did. We grabbed the inner thigh.
yeah, because nobody wanted to take a dick flip. I was trying to change out of stuff. I was already having a very frustrating practice, and it was like, Dalton, come back in. Why? Dick flip.
he was
Everyone's taking a dick flip.
he was so adamant about the dick flip, and I didn't put two and two together.
Yeah.
But when we get there, I'm like, okay, well, how do I do this? And Joey said, you can cheat. A lot of people cheat and they'll grab my inner thigh, which is what Justin has to do. And I don't remember who it was. It may have been Dalton and Justin. They were both like, you better grab his dick.
Yeah, that was definitely me and Justin because we were like, you better grab his dick because
So-
I would totally get a handful.
I wanted confirmation that they really did it, because if they didn't actually grab his dick and I'm the first guy that just grabs his fucking testicles and stuff, I'm going to feel bad.
I wouldn't have.
If he looks offended, like, you're not actually supposed to grab my dick.
Right.
So he tells me, yeah, you
Because he can't stiff you with his penis, which is the greatest thing you can be such a dickhole about.
So we get in the match, he's like, shove me. And backstage, he says, all right, you're going to shove me and then talk shit. So, you shove me. And so I pushed him as hard as I could. And he's like, whoa, easy now. We're just talking it through. And I fucking pushed him backstage. So we get in the ring and I push him. He grabs my hand right on his testicles. It was so soft. It was so pillowy down there. Yeah, and it was I'm one of the people that said how much I think the dick flip is stupid.
You sold it like a champion.
And I can honestly say, now that I've been in the ring and seen the energy around stuff like that, like, I'm fine with it. I'm not just saying that because we did it. Actually, I lessened my hate of the dick flip once I saw all the other weirder shit that came out after.
You've also kind of slowly been kind of becoming more accepting of things you just don't like.
Yeah.
Which it's fair. Again, like Joey Ryan, I don't think will ever fault anyone for not liking him as a wrestler.
Right.
It's when you start getting into that disrespectful territory of you're not a real wrestler, blah, blah, blah.
And he's a great wrestler.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing. He's a great wrestler. He just found that thing. He found the hook.
Yeah.
And the hook is in his shorts because it is kind of a natural
Because it's
formation.
shaped like a hook.
So, whenever I got back to work,
Oh,
I
no.
was telling people about the weekend, and then out of nowhere, my coworker just goes, "So who's Joey Ryan?" And I was like, "Okay, you don't pay attention to CCW." And he was just like, "He just kind of popped up on my Instagram." I was like, "Okay." And I look around, there's a customer. I'm like, "I will have to come back."
So
I can't talk about this right now.
since we're on that story, I've only really had my mom go to the big shows that I kind of wanted to be there
Like
for.
your first match.
So my first match, that meant a lot to me in Cape. And then I told her, it's my first super show. This is kind of a big angle. I think you're going to want to be there. And this was way, because and I'm not going to lie to anybody. I didn't know Joey Ryan was my partner until about an hour before the match.
Yeah.
It then got more empirically funny that my mom has only really seen wrestling 2 times. Both times I was in the match. So she hasn't seen good wrestling. But she didn't know anything about Joey Ryan. I just texted her, "You are going to either absolutely love my partner or you're going to absolutely hate him." And she was like, "The little guy?" Because I was teaming with Marco. I was like, "No,
No.
the mystery partner." My stepdad was there. Who my stepdad is he's an odd dude. I love Linda to death, but he's also kind of don't hug me because we're guys. That's my stepdad.
Oh.
And I love him to death, so I hug him every time I see him. And I just realized it was hilarious that that my mom was there, but my stepdad being there was so much funnier because Joey Ryan did the oil.
Yes.
And I just hear Sadie, "Dalton!" I turn around, she's like, "Lyndall's face." And my stepdad had the most disgusted look on his face, to which, if you watch the match, you'll see me turn around and just start laughing. And I was super upset I was wearing a singlet because I totally would have done the oil spot too. But I was like, I don't want to mess up my singlet, my new gear.
What was his reaction to Caleb getting the blow pop?
Even more disgusted. It was amazing. My mom is a huge Joey Ryan fan now.
Well, yeah, who wouldn't be?
Yeah, she was like, "That was hilarious." She was like, "Have you ever done that?" And I was like, "I don't have a strong penis like he does, Mom."
I don't have
So Becky Brown, who's a friend of mine, when she found out, she became obsessed with Joey Ryan very quickly.
Yes.
When she found out that I had done that move, she takes my hand and starts rubbing it on her face. She's rubbing it on her hand and then rubbing it all over her face. She's like, "Was it this hand?
She
Was it this hand?"
was dressed up because it was connected to the convention, and she has a great business called Cakes Reanimated.
Yeah.
And so she went to the show, and she was dressed up as Zoya from Glow.
Yeah.
And so the next day, I'm talking to her, and she goes, "I did not know Joey Ryan was in Glow." And I was like, "Yeah, he was actually a big part of it, behind the scenes too, I'm pretty sure." And she was like, "I'm just walking up to him, I'm calling him Daddy," and all this stuff. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
"Becky."
She called Joey Ryan Daddy.
She's not the first person, let's be honest.
Seriously.
I think I might have accidentally said it when we were calling the match.
Yes, Dad.
But yeah, no, that was just a surreal. How was it for you, Asa?
It was awesome. Before I get to me and kind of gush over Matt Stryker, I do want to, because we spent a lot of time talking about us because of course
This
it's
is
us,
big
it's
for
our
us,
show, and this
yeah.
is huge for us. I want to give a special shout out to literally everyone on the roster.
Oh, every match
Like,
was insane.
The scramble match was a mile a minute. I genuinely, it's one of those things where it's I was so nervous and trying to be in the moment of trying to do a good job for them.
Right.
Because I meant what I said on CCW Live of the reason that I like being able to do commentary is I love being able to help push and put over every wrestler as a good guy or as a bad guy. If they're a bad guy, I want them to be despicable. If they're a good guy, I want them to be loved.
Right.
Because everyone who goes out there, they are legitimately risking their lives and their livelihood to put on a show for the fans. And I know physically, what you guys did, Justin wanted me to take the dick flip at practice. And I was like, I'll grab your dick. I don't care, but I can't do the front. I cannot do a front flip and land on my back.
Mm-hmm.
I will plant my head, forehead first and snap my neck. That's just
$1 million baby.
But I think you can.
see, but that's the thing is I'm a biggity bitch.
But
So moving on. So like to be able to play that part like means a lot to me. Like I love being able to do like I would love to kind of like try my hand at like managing and other stuff. But
You'll get your chance.
To be able to do commentary is like it's legitimately like I love being able to do that and help you all and like the wrestlers tell their stories.
And look at your reward.
Which was amazing. So like the scramble match was awesome.
Mikey tussled my hair. I knew he was going to too. He pointed out the crowd. He was like, "Hey Shannon, hey Shannon," and everybody's getting in the ring. He's like, "There's somebody out there," and I can't really say it. I'm like, "I know you're gonna do something." So I turn around, and look, and sure enough, he tussles my hair and laughs. And I was like,
Your Mikey was really good, by the way.
But like, which Mikey is a guy that like I feel like the first company that really really gets behind him is gonna find like just exactly what
a gym.
Yeah, just exactly what Mikey can do.
Yeah.
And honestly, like everybody in that scramble match.
Oh yeah,
same thing.
Everybody's great.
So it was the scramble match was amazing. SCUs versus Bestie. Or SCU versus the besties in the world.
That was insane.
Like that was such a fantastic match. I legitimately like it's the thing of like we say it to sell the show and to put them over, but I genuinely believe the besties in the world are the best independent tag team that are not signed to a major company.
Let me find it. Because, yeah, after that match, I literally got a text from my mom. That match was really cool. Can you do any of that? And then I had to explain to her that I'm bad. But, like, yeah, no, like, that's how good all four of those guys are.
Oh, yeah.
Where somebody that is not a wrestling fan can text them and, like, text them and be like, that was really good.
I'm still now absolutely paranoid that I've been saying Matt Fitchett's name wrong this entire time.
Saying it wrong.
I think
because
SCU
Matt Stryker
might make it.
There's something special.
There's something special
Well,
about
if they
those
just
boys.
stop saying that it's the worst town they ever been in.
It can't be every town.
Your guys' match was a lot of fun, and like the story you told, like I already talked about how proud I was of you guys.
I was
and
proud
how,
of my punches. I'm still proud of
no,
my
everything.
punches.
Looked like I
and
liked
my shoes.
So Justin and them were going over how Dalton should be like hammering away at you, and I like the little twist you put on it is you had him by the hair. It wasn't just like you didn't.
I didn't do collar.
You didn't cup the back of the head or the
sure
collar.
didn't.
You had him by the hair, and it made it look amazing. I'm sure it probably sucks, but whatever.
It didn't suck as bad as it could have because I was worried one hand would slip, but it didn't. Very good.
I know Billy was down on his match with Hollis because
We got hurt,
but he has a neck issue.
Because he has a neck issue. I honestly, I couldn't tell. Like like something may have seen off, but like I said, I don't really remember actually watching the matches. I just remember being very, very high on everything that I saw.
I'm gonna cut that part out.
And I kind of,
I just remember being very, very high.
just ace out of context.
Thanks, Podzilla.
But like, and part of me was like bummed that Billy didn't get his moment at Super Show, but at the same time, like I like the idea that this can continue. Then, like,
yeah, otherwise I'd be out of the job.
Not everything needs to be totally like wrapped up into it.
Right. We didn't have to lose every match.
Yeah.
That night.
Well,
shit, we did lose.
Even though you did
every match.
House
that
always
night.
wins, though.
So the title.
But so I'm happy to see that continue because I love Hollis. Like I think he's genuinely so talented, and that's the thing too is like I get to say stuff to put people over on commentary, but it's stuff I genuinely think.
Yeah.
I'm not
life,
just being a showman.
Art imitates life.
Yeah. It was cool to be able to say that I got to see the Steiner brothers wrestle.
So if there was one black eye on the night, and it's not even that it was a black eye, because Jason and I have talked about this extensively, and this is Pro Wrestling Unscripted. We don't pull any punches here.
Right.
So Steiner, Scott Steiner, you book Scott Steiner, you know what's going to happen with Scott Steiner.
Right.
I personally did not talk to the man other than bumping into him and saying sorry. I didn't see.
I didn't talk to him.
I didn't see Rick at all until he was in the ring.
Because they showed up late, like for the meet and greet, and then they did that, and I didn't see him because I was from the pre-show on pretty well. I was at the commentary table.
Right.
I was backstage for a total of like 40 minutes for the 2 intermissions.
Yeah.
Maybe, and even then, I was still trying to do stuff with commentary. So
Right. All I know is that they told Scott not to go after the ref. He went after the ref anyway. Actually, they didn't tell him not. They asked him politely.
They told him that the referee can't bump.
Right.
In Missouri.
And I was backstage. So this after my match with Dalton, and there was the buffer match in between. And I'm backstage with Billy. I'm at the production table. I hung out with him, Louie, and a gentleman that we can't say all night.
Who was very vital to the operation.
Extremely vital.
And we appreciate
and we
greatly.
hope he knows.
And we hope, we are not doing this as a slight. It's just a literal, like, we are not
just
sure
in
that
case.
we,
Right. But I'm talking with Billy and them, and all of a sudden I hear the crowd just like, oh, and I literally turned to Billy and I was like, did he just say fuck? He said fuck, didn't
To
he?
which
he did.
Kazarian comes through the locker room and just yells, Scotty just yelled fuck over a live mic, to which the entire locker room popped.
And they knew, I had to think Jason knew that if Scott got anywhere near a microphone, that could happen.
Oh, yeah, no, he knows. Well, it's the
Which
same
I
with
don't
Joey
think
Ryan.
I'm willing to bet that he probably wasn't scheduled for mic time. He
just
just saw
put the
that there
mic-
was a mic out there.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh wait, this one's been working."
and it's Scott Steiner.
Yeah.
So
Nobody's gonna tell me.
And Scott Steiner's the only one that could do it and get away with it.
Yeah.
I think if anyone else had done it, if I had gotten on the mic and said "fuck Dalton," complaints would have rolled in.
oh yeah, it would have been bad.
Scott Steiner did it. Everyone just kind of goes, "Well, that's
Yeah.
our Scotty."
That's Scotty.
I didn't get to see his match, but
It was
just,
fun.
Just having the Steiner brothers there,
Yeah.
like what a badge of honor, you know?
Yeah, and that's awesome for the Wise Church because those guys are awesome.
They are.
I like they've been an absolute gem and
Treasure.
a pleasure.
Treasure.
From the first time that they've come to CCW.
And I was worried this meant they weren't going to be around much more.
Yeah.
But Jason assured me they would still be there. I was like, good, because I love them.
Yeah.
They're so good.
They're
Reno
awesome.
and Antoine are incredible.
But then we talked about Brandon and him coming out winning the tag titles. I'm excited to see what him and Joey O'Reilly end up doing together.
Same.
And then what they do to each other evenally.
Hopefully,
I'm not stupid.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully, you're gonna
Yeah.
tell me I get to watch Brandon Barbed Wire and Joey O'Reilly.
Baba?
Baba. The women's match was great. Kelly Klein was great.
She was really cool. Sheen is really good.
I love Seishin. Like
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's just like, boy, I don't know if you know how good you are, and because like she
always seems so nervous.
She always seems so cool. I love Austin Lane. Also, always calling her big time.
Oh yeah,
You know,
that's
she
really funny.
hates that.
And the look on her face every time someone says it to her.
Because he always wants me to do it too, and I was just like, we don't know each other that well, and I don't.
I see.
Like,
Anytime
I don't
he
want
does,
her to like me.
every
'cause-
time she does it, or he does it around me, he's like, "Call her big time," and I'm like, "You gonna take that shit from Austin Lane?" I pretty much I feed into the
Yeah.
big time thing, but I turn it around, and be like, "Go tell him blue's your color," because he wears those blues. Like, and she's
Yeah.
like, "That's a good point," and then goes up to him and starts messing with him. I was like, so I just take it and like make it a good thing.
And plus, Nikki was there. I feel like I haven't seen Nikki in forever.
You mean the smoke show? Nikki and Megan both? Jesus, like when they were walking around all dressed up, not a single guy there wasn't.
getting to do the?
I don't know how to say this politely. They were both gorgeous.
I was gonna say you're already well behind.
They like not only is Nikki awesome and Megan awesome, but like even Megan said she doesn't normally girl. So this is one of the few times she girls, and I was like, "Well, you girl very well."
Getting-
you two. Oh my god, just Austin, I'm with you. She's my women crush Wednesday every time.
Getting to do the pre-show with her and Dwindle.
Other than my girlfriend, who I love.
Getting to do the pre-show with her and Dwindle was awesome. Like that was a lot of fun. That's something I would like to do more of, like with them specifically.
Hopefully, you will. I think that was a great thing.
Yeah.
Other than starting a little late, but
Well, we got a pay-per-view
Which was-
coming up, so
I mean, it's stuff happens. It's fine. We can prepare better now. Plus, it's the next pay-per-view won't be the same weekend as a Comic-Con.
Yeah,
So
that is true.
those same restraints that we had are going to be lessened. Women's match. I feel like I'm missing one. Going from Billie Hollis to was it? And then it was tag. It was the Steiner match.
you skipped Ace Espy.
Oh, Ace Espy was second. That's right. I love that match. That's been a story that I kind of like. Once it transitioned from Jackson Espy to Ace Espy, I've really enjoyed. They clearly have great history and chemistry together.
yeah.
So I really, really enjoyed that. Espy is phenomenal. Ace is phenomenal. We kind of were like cracking jokes about like the no face, but like I thought it worked.
Yeah,
Like, and I dug the makeup and
Just
stuff.
call him No Face.
blurry face.
Blurry
Blurry
face.
face.
Jesus Christ, I'm tired.
Allie, blur your face, Hawkins.
But I dug it. I thought it worked really well, especially as a counter to like full Banshee Espy.
Yeah.
Who that paint? When I saw that paint, the red and black, I was like, ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, he looked bad.
And that and they clearly they put a lot of work into like everyone did, but like they clearly had their stuff like planned out and like,
Boy,
they
am
had
I
the-
happy I
they
don't
had-
wrestle in face paint. F all that noise.
They had the story they wanted to tell, and I think they did a really great job of telling it. Then it went into Austin Christopher Daniels, which when that one was announced, holy shit, like that is a legitimate dream match because we're not just saying it because we're really good friends with Austin, but like he is one of the best.
Yeah.
Like he is best of the best for a reason.
Yeah.
And to see him go up against Christopher Daniels was amazing. Aside from me just fangirling out because Christopher Daniels is legit one of my all-time favorites, and I've said it before, like one of the most underappreciated, I should say, wrestlers of all time.
yeah.
Was so awesome. I love that match. It's one of those like I want to go back and rewatch the show, but I'll have to do it on mute because I don't
You don't want to
like
hear
Because
yourself.
because even having the headphones on and hearing myself was just like, all right, just get used to it. Just gotta power through. And then the main event, Jackson Crowley, Jake Durden.
oh God.
I want to see that match again. But I want to see them just wrestle
My
again
only
and again and again.
The only problem I have with that match, and it wasn't the match itself, it's just that after 4 hours, you could tell the crowd was exhausted.
Yeah.
We were all exhausted. It was quieter than I would have liked to have been for such a high caliber match, but it was only quiet sometimes.
Yeah.
When things happened, the crowd was up for it because they were into the match.
But it's hard to sustain that level of energy for 4 hours.
Yeah. So I know there might be some people that thought, the crowd wasn't loud for that match. No, they were loud. They just pick and choose their moments.
And it was a great crowd. And
it was such a good crowd.
The great size crowd. Everyone was super into everything. It seemed like
Jake and Jackson are two of the best talents around. We already knew Jackson because we've known him for so long. We only got to see Jake a handful of times in CCW before he went off to Dalton. What was it? It was the wrestling league up in St. Louis that folded. I think half of it folded. NWL.
Yeah.
He went up there and then he came back. And Jake is such an incredibly nice and forgiving and patient man. Yeah, who has helped me out quite a bit with learning how to be a manager. Hey, choke them when you can, stuff like that, little things that I didn't think about.
Yeah.
So to see him and Jackson go at it, and really happy for the crowd reaction when Jackson won the title.
So I genuinely didn't know who was going to win that match. And when that second rope chokeslam hit, and I told both of them this. I definitely told Jackson because I talked to Jake earlier, or I talked to Jake afterwards, and was very just kind of fangirled on him a little bit because it was just
as you
were so good. And I told him the story that I was telling of him being really, really precise, and the wild man look is all just kind of a facade. And he's like, that's exactly what I'm trying to go for. So and so he was super appreciative of that, which I appreciated because again, crazy person and just
everything you do is wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But after that second rope chokeslam, and especially the way he landed, I was like, oh, holy shit! It's easy to think, oh yeah, Jackson wins the main event at the biggest show, send the crowd home happy. But does Jake actually win this? Does Jake hold on to the championship? And then Jackson kicks out. It's they're going for it again. Because I genuinely didn't think that the finish was going to be the gallows.
No.
I did not think that.
No. In fact, Jason just posted a clip of it from Robert Young. And looking at it again, still scared. So scary to watch that move being taken by Jake Durden, who's, I think, in Dalton could correct me, is 7'6", 544 pounds. And to take that move off the top rope is absolutely scary, man.
Yeah, so to see that hit,
flipping off the top rope is not fun.
That moment was that was amazing. That was such a perfect ending, a perfect finish to that match.
Yeah.
So
as opposed to just the double arm DDT, which would have been great, but the fact that they did that move,
because I assumed he had a backup finisher ready,
right?
Because I said, there's no way Jake Durden's taking a C4.
That's what I said, and I saw him go up the first time, and Jake knocked him off, and I was like, okay, thank God.
And they just kept going. Oh.
And then he took it, and I was like, no. I wanted to make sure everybody was okay. But of course they were, because they're amazing.
Yeah.
Other than Jackson.
Which he really needs to stop bleeding.
He needs to stop.
It was the nut on the ring post. The one that hangs out. Because I saw it, because I think it was your camera. You see it, and he didn't. It literally, he put his hand like that, and I think the nut.
Split the difference between his fingers.
Yup.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jackson Crowley,
which again,
man.
I don't know. I'm so I honestly that Saturday night could not have gone better. On top of especially how well the panel went and just real quick because I didn't want to I'm not gonna gush over myself or anything.
No,
but
we want you to. We actively are waiting for you to do it.
I know, but I like talking about again. Whole thing about being a commentator.
Quit
I like
talking about the wrestlers and talk about you and Matt Striker.
Commentator. So me and Ken got to do.
Is he commentator?
He did.
Probably.
Okay.
See, and this is the thing. You let me. Just talking to a microphone for 4 hours, calling action, and I say stuff like that.
Commentator.
Whose decision
John
was
Maxley.
that? John Maxley. Who's that debuting in the NXT zone? The John Moxley experience.
Oh.
Is Brandon going to start being the barbed wire experience?
Don't put that in his head.
Jason.
Stay.
Jason.
Will you do me a favor? Mm-hmm. Stop and talk about you and Matt.
So Ken and I got to do commentary with Matt Striker. I was so nervous.
He was incredibly nice.
He was as nice as could be. I genuinely have nothing but positive things to say about Matt Striker as a whole and that whole experience. Because he is someone that I genuinely look up to and try to model myself after in commentary because he's super knowledgeable. And he's always invested.
He's confident too.
Yeah, and he's got that confidence you just can't.
Yeah.
You can't emulate. So I was so nervous to be sitting next to someone who I think so highly of, and to have them be like, okay, so you're doing the thing that I'm doing, and I'm going to sit here for 4 hours, a foot away from you, hearing every second of it. No, thank you. A hard pass. That's just nightmare. Because I do not have that confidence. But like I think I mentioned it on the pre-show or maybe earlier on the show, so I apologize if I'm repeating myself. But I had a lot of like I've never had people reach out to me before and tell me that, oh, you did a good job. Like you've always told me that, like, you know, when people talk about the shows, like they'll mention it's like, oh yeah, Asa did good, but like no one ever reaches out to me to tell me. And I actually had multiple people do that for this show, including someone I didn't even know. Like and that,
which is the best feeling.
Yeah.
No offense to the people that love us, but we need that stranger validation.
When your friends tell you, it's just like, yeah, you're being nice, and I appreciate that. But like, yeah, to have someone actually like reach out and be like, hey, you know, no, you did. Like, I'm sure that was nerve wracking, and you did great. Like, holy crap, that meant the world to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, Matt was so great. Because he was curious, he wanted to learn about the roster, and like he wanted to contribute as best he could.
He could have the history of the Nephilim.
Yeah, he could have come in and just like, you know, eat, like I said, a payday and, you know, half-assed it, and he absolutely did not. And it I think that showed through. I haven't gone back and personally listened to any of it. I don't know if I'll be able to, but it was, and he was also very complimentary of it, like to me. Like, yeah, I mean, he busted my balls on the air, but that's just kind of the dynamic that we use.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as you guys came back through the curtain when the show was over, the first thing Matt did was pull Jason aside and talk about how good you were.
Yeah.
And that was the Dalton pinning me moment for you, was me looking at that and going like, oh shit, look at Ace over there.
Yeah. Getting
the rub.
Which he did it. And like I told Billy, like, yeah, so he immediately like told Jason like how, you know, happy he was, and like he was very complimentary of me, and I was like, but again, that crazy brain is like, but he did it in front of me, so I don't know if he really meant it. And Billy's like, he wouldn't have done it at all. Like, he's not like
he doesn't owe you anything.
He has no reason to pretend to put you over.
Right.
Like,
there's no reason he would have to say that. He would just walk off.
Yeah.
I mean, look at other wrestlers who just walk backstage,
or even
walked and left,
or even just been like, yeah, no, it was great, thank you very much. And so, yeah, I'm over the moon with it. I've been working on like a post about like between like everything for Podzilla and CCW, because like I'm trying to put into words just.
I tried to do that post and it came out as just a rambling mess, I noticed, but
that's why I didn't just immediately do it that night. And
well, it was from the heart. I want to mention that I had like probably the most liked post.
I did one.
Oh, I thought I heard a duck.
No. I did one, and I was like pretty inebriated whenever I posted it, because I was in a lot of pain from training that day.
Oh, see. No.
Yeah, so like that's why mine, like I read it back the next day and I was like, I did a pretty good job on that one. No spelling errors. I read it like 50 times hammered and been like, I nailed it.
It was one of the most liked things I've ever done. And then up until like 2 days ago, neither of you had liked it, even though I tagged you in it. And I got salty about that. I was like, why haven't Asa and Dalton liked it? And I thought, oh, they're not mad at me, are they?
Did we like it in the meantime?
Well, Asa did eventually. I don't think you have still.
No, because I didn't see it. Because I was trying to, like, I pretty much
thought you guys were mad at me for some reason.
No.
I really did. And I'm like, well, why are they mad at me?
I changed my picture. I changed the picture to the one I got with Matt. And then, like, but I pretty much was, like, kind of off social media for a couple days.
Well, I think we were all exhausted.
Yeah, because I was just like, oh, man. But yeah, between not just Super Show, but like the panel we got to do Friday with Veronica Taylor and Animal, and then Super Show, and going back
convention,
and going back to thinking of Super Show 1, where it's like one of the first matches I ever called was Joey Ryan versus Davey Vega.
Yeah,
like that was the first match.
That was the first match on Chaos
that we did for commentary. Yeah, you know, here after the fact.
Yeah,
and then going from there to where we are now, and not just again like us at PWU and CCW, but with Podzilla and doing, you know, with Veronica Taylor and, you know, Tanner getting to hang out with the Power Rangers, and just it's nuts.
Allie
to think.
also hanging out with Veronica Taylor, I want to mention.
Yeah,
and
she was great.
It's so easy. She's the nicest human being that's ever existed.
Hey, don't like my post.
it's I don't know. I'm still overwhelmed, and I'm kind of getting emotional now just thinking of it.
Thank God, Lindsay. I'll wait till tomorrow.
It's
when Lindsay talks about it.
It's so easy to get so wrapped up in some of the frustrations and the problems that we have, and you know the grueling, like it's easy to think like you're just talking into a microphone, but we do it 3 nights a week.
Yeah,
you know,
for hours.
Yeah,
sometimes 2 hours.
I get you're playing the music.
No, go on. You're right. You're 100%.
But
right.
It's so easy to you know focus on the negatives and the frustrations. But then to see everything come together like it did this weekend,
it felt like a reward.
Just like it really did. Like it was one of the most rewarding experiences of my entire life.
I agree, 100%. Like I told Jason, it's going to be really hard to top this for us personally. Yeah. Like I'm sure next Super Show is going to be an amazing show, maybe even better. Yeah. But like personally, we'll never do this again. We'll never have the first time.
Yeah.
You know? If you want to watch that show, by the way, Fight TV, you can find Super Show 3 on there. And if you use this promo code, you can get it for free. That's what I did. And you can watch it unlimited times. You can watch it over and over again. Again, fighttv.com, or maybe it's not fighttv.com. It's Fight TV.
It's Fight TV.
It's
the
an app, yeah.
And you can watch it on the web too. So if you're on a computer or whatever, my TV has it as an app, which is pretty nice. But use the code Q0ED14J.
It will be in the description of this episode.
I will put it in the description of the episode. But you can use that code, and if you're a wrestling fan, there's no reason not to watch this. One, you're going to help support CCW. Two, you're going to get to see all of us at our best, whether it be camera work with Ali and Mandy, commentary with Asa, or in-ring performances with me and Dalton. We all, literally, I say this without hyperbole, that none of the show could have existed without each one of us. And I'm not saying that to be arrogant. Literally, that show could not have happened the way it did without us. And that's not because we're so great, but it's because Jason and Lee and Ken have brought us into the fold and allowed us to be an important part of it. And we are so thankful to them. And we're thankful to all of you, 100%. Like, seriously, from the shoes thing to listening to us every week to telling Asa how good he is, even though he doesn't believe it. But he
no,
should.
you're definitely lying to me.
We couldn't do this without you.
But I love my liars.
Thank you guys so much for supporting us and helping us get to this point. It means so much. But for now, we're going to have to say goodbye because I'm hungry. She's hungry.
I'm also very hungry.
He's hungry. They're all hungry.
I'm hungry.
We're all hungry. I want to remind you guys that tomorrow we will be doing our Cape Comic Con wrap-up episode. We'll be talking about our experiences at the con, including Miss Veronica Taylor. We'll see how long it takes Lindsay to cry. I'm betting not long. I'm going to show her the picture of them as she's talking and just see what happens. Until tomorrow night for Pro Wrestling. Nope. Podzilla After Dark. This is Pro Wrestling. Asa, hit us with those links. Take us out.
You can go to facebook.com/Podzilla1985. Like a handful of people have over the last couple days, which is awesome. Give us a like. We're posting stuff on there. Same thing with twitter.com/Podzilla1985. That's our social medias. We don't have an Instagram presence yet. This would have been a good weekend to have one of those, though.
Hindsight.
Podzilla1985.com. You can go find that panel that we did because we recorded it. It's up there as a podcast. The first half is PW and Animal. Second half is Nerd Up and Veronica Taylor.
Great show.
It was a lot of fun. Both of them were amazing guests and had some really good insights on things. And, if I say so myself, we had some good questions for them that they were able to play off of really, really well.
Yeah. Super great.
Go check that out. And then, of course, patreon.com/Podzilla1985. Every little bit helps. For $1, you get the pre-show of every show that we do a month. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Including tonight's.
Including tonight's pre-show. And it's not just, the PW pre-shows. You get them for every show.
Right.
And then, Fight TV. Check out Super Show 3 if you haven't had a chance to. Because, this was a labor of love by a lot of people. Yeah. Not just us, but, everyone, Billy really stepped up and helped out with production stuff. Adam stepped up his game, unbelievably so. Jason, Lee, and Ken came together to put on just, the best event.
Our referees,
possible.
Kelly, Jerry.
Yeah. Lane came back.
How
did we not talk about Lane coming back?
What a great feeling that was.
Oh my God. I was so happy to see him.
The perfect pin in the storyline was Lane coming out to special ref the match.
Yep.
Because Lane was there the first match Dalton had against Austin Lane when Lane was GM. And Lane, of course, he's had the health problems. He's in recovery and stuff like that, and we wish him the best. To have him there and to come out and ref the match.
He's been there for 3 of the coolest moments in my career so far. Because he was my first ref at CCW. Actually, 4. He was the first ref I ever had in my first. He was the ref in my first match ever. First CCW match. He was backstage whenever I won my first title, and then he reffed one of my first Super Show matches.
And now I reffed this one. Your Super Show match against your best friend.
Yeah, that.
Andy was there? No, it's only because I'm salty.
Anyway,
Fuck
Lane, we really hope you hear this, Lane. I don't know if you're listening to the show or if you tapped out. We love you so much. If you're listening to the show and you know Lane, tell him we said it.
Yeah.
So, Heath, Axe, whoever. Whoever. All right, we're getting out of here, guys. We're going to grab some food. We'll see you tomorrow on After Dark, where we'll talk about our con experiences, and it was really good. It's going to be a great show tomorrow. Take care of yourselves, guys. Go to Fight TV and check out the Super Show 3. If you haven't, use that promo code. Get it for free. Let us know what you think. Until tomorrow, guys. Later.